There we go. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Let me get this music off that's banging in our ears, and I can hear myself loud and clear. Perfect. We got a full house, a little before the meeting, after the meeting, beyond the meeting. This is the Attitude for Gratitude weekly live recovery show. I don't think it's a podcast. Podcasts are pre-recorded things that they put out later that get edited. This ain't like that. This is live recovery talk. 2520 North 2nd Street. That's where we're at. That's where we get our recovery. That's where come on down. Check us out 7 days a week. All day, every day, we've got stuff going on here. Wednesdays, we got men's and women's meetings at 5 p.m. Every night of the week, we got 7 p.m. big house meetings. Sundays, we got multiple meetings throughout the day. We've got a workout room here. We got a ping pong and foosball table. We do barbecues on Sundays. This is the spot. It's happening. This is where I found my recovery in the early days, and I've always continued to keep coming back. Oh, is the ghost pepper sticks a little hot, boys? A little hot, huh, boys? We got some tough guys in the house over here. Look at this. We got Dustin and Jer. What was your name again, bro? Dan, I got you all on mute so I can have my ego right now playing this. Basically, just tell everyone out there who's listening. 2520 North 2nd Street. We'll work for recovery. Come check us out. Come see what we got going on here. Come down, be part of the podcast. Come check out some of the meetings. Come support the barbecue. We have events going on all throughout the year. You'll hear me talking about them. Most of all, if you're out there struggling tonight and you're under the sound of this voice, like, come on down or just stay tuned in. You can interact with the guests tonight. You can post comments. You have questions, post them. If there's something I talk about that you want me to kind of go further in depth, post that stuff. If you got ideas for the show, post that stuff. If you want to come be on the show, come get down here. This is not my show. This is the recovery community's recovery show, and that's what we talk about, recovery. Other than that, like, we got a lot of things happening. Summer's here, a lot of events. Gopher State just happened. We got all sorts of rides that are happening, barbecues and hopscotch and all that stuff. So 6529 Nicollet Avenue South. That is American Pie Pizza. That's kind of a partner of the shows. Not really even a partner or a sponsor. That's just Will, and they bring pizzas in here, and he supports the show. So I told him I'd talk about him because they also hire people in recovery community, all sorts of good stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. What are you raising your hand for? We live right now. What do you need? I'm just joking with you, Mike. Okay, I'm number one, he says. All right, so I'm going to unmute the boys, and we're going to get to talking some recovery here. We already got some comments and questions, and you'll see my number going across the bottom. If you don't want to publicly post any questions, just message me directly. I know a lot of you out there listening will do that. It happens every week. I will do my best to get whatever questions come in. I will make sure that we get them handled. Most of all, share this show. Share this, talk about the show. Anyone you know that could listen to a little recovery. Oh, bro, who are you over there crying? What's your name?
My name is Dustin. I'm a drug addict.
Dustin, welcome to the show.
Jeremy, drug addict, alcoholic.
Jeremy, welcome to the show. Who are you?
I'm Dan. I'm a retired tweaker.
Dan, welcome to the show. So, the one issue I'm going to have tonight is this camera. I've got a brand new one. It costs like almost $5 and I'm not hooking it up till we move to the new spot. But until then, we have to deal with this guy here. And I get bad feedback when we run it this way, which I'll try. And I need you guys to tell me what you prefer. I know it's real hard to see everybody when we do this. Boom. So we can, matter of fact, what I'll do is when someone's talking, I will put it on them. And then it just sucks. If you're listening from your phone, it's hard to see everyone on that top side. I get it. Dustin, how's your recovery been going, brother? What, are you a little too warm to talk? I gave you ice cold water. You just put in your mouth.
Something hot.
Mike. Did I call you Mike?
It's Dan.
Dan. Damn, I'm dumb. Dan, explain to me what they just ate.
They just ate, probably my favorite snack is ghost pepper sticks. Shout out to Everett's Meats in South Minneapolis off 38th and Cedar.
And it's what's that mean? Ghost pepper. It's one of them. It's a spicy one. It's spicy.
Oh, it's spicy.
Okay. And these boys just went in hard on it, huh?
They thought I was just giving a Slim Jim or something.
That's good.
And look at my boys on fire. Wes, you coming back? Yeah. All right, cool. All right, good enough. So doing some tough stuff. Let's talk recovery. Otherwise, I can go down this rabbit hole of pepper stuff. We did have a show last year and the year before, and we will again this year when Eric M comes in with his homegrown ghost peppers, Trinidad's, the scorpions, all that, and we eat them on air and look like a bunch of assholes. But I think that was the first time I ate a pint of ice cream on my own. And I did. Ice cream works. Ice cream does. It's better
And
than
yogurt.
water. Yogurt, yep. Throat yogurt. Ugh. All right. Dan, how's your recovery looking?
My recovery.
What have you been doing for your recovery?
Oh, what have I been doing? Well, last time I was on the show, we said we were going to talk about this, but I got a sponsor now. Working my steps. I'm chairing a meeting. Just celebrated my 6 months this week.
Ooh, hang on. Good job on that 6 months. Go ahead. All right, yeah. What else? No?
I'm trying to give back to the community they gave to me.
What do you mean? Yeah, I hear people say, so I'm giving back to the community. All right, I'm going to be that guy who holds you to that. What do you mean, give back to the community?
I went, like Paul says, are you attending the meeting or are you in the meeting? And I was tired of attending the meeting, so now I'm chairing a meeting. I'm giving back to the people who gave to me.
There, and that's how you see it, huh?
Yep.
So it's when you talk about that, you see that as service work.
Yeah, absolutely.
What does that do for your recovery? Like, flip it around. What's it do for your recovery?
It just helps me help other people. Like I get to see the newcomer. You know, I'm not just the guy sitting in the meeting. You know, maybe talking once in a while. I get to share a little more. I just get to experience the stuff I saw. You know, a lot of times it's people who have some years of sobriety under their belts. You know, I got 6 months, but the people felt that I was of good shape to chair the meeting.
Cool.
So it helps me realize that I can't do this on my own, and if I just try to attend the meetings and not be in them, that I'm not going to get nothing out of it. I didn't just go to the trap house and sit in the trap house and watch everyone else get high.
Preach on that. See, Dustin's a big proponent of that, and he'll talk about it from a different angle. And Dustin, would you go down that rabbit hole real quick? You know what I'm talking about. How we make that comparison of
So what I always say is I don't know how anybody else used, but I didn't sit in a trap house and just wait to get high. I didn't sit at the bar and hope to get drunk. I got in, I got involved, I met people, I was, you know what I mean? I was constantly moving and grooving. So I had to do the same thing when I came in here. When I came in here, I had to meet people. You got to meet the right people, though. You know what I mean? You got to shake a lot of hands to find a lot of different good people. And it's like, same thing in the streets, it's, you just got to meet people. And I took that same mentality and brought it in here, and I carried it into every aspect of my life. Like, I mean, there's nobody that comes in contact with me longer than 20 minutes that doesn't know that I'm in recovery. I've been to prison. I've turned my life around, and this is what I'm doing. And the biggest part of that is gratitude, right? Like, I wake up every day, and the fact that I'm not dead or in prison is enough for me, right? Like, everything else will work itself out. Like, life is going to show up in recovery. I have no control over that. The only thing I can control is how I react to it. Like, I can't do anything about people, places, and things. Does it hurt my feelings? Do my little feelings get hurt? Do I get upset? Do I get feeling some type of way? Absolutely I do. But in the grand scheme of things, we just have to keep it moving.
So quickly, someone just questioned me on your story about you saying, like, you've got to reach out to people. Let me just reread what they said. How did you know when to implement that? How did you know, like, did you walk in the doors 6 years ago and say, all right, I did the trap house like this, I got to do recovery like this, or was it a learning curve? Did someone give you these tools that, hey, I got to shake 100 hands to find one that's going to work?
Here's the thing, like, I cast a big wake, right? Like, I mean, Tim will tell you, like, I mean, I walked into rehab, skinnier and shit. I had bright red shoes on, bright red hat, and I talk shit, like, loud as shit.
Loud's
like,
a great word.
And I used to tell people, like, if you can't make it to 3 meetings a week when they're in the same building you live in, you ain't gonna do it when you get out. Right. You know what I mean? And I hit it with everything I had. And did I stay sober? No, but it laid the foundation
on the ground. Will you grab me that headphone on the ground? Yeah. No, keep going. It laid the foundation for
it laid the foundation to, like, what I have today, right? Like,
there it is. I got.
Sorry, guys. It laid the foundation for this is hosting shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it laid the foundation I have today, right? Like, in my job interview, I told them like, look, I'm an addict in recovery, and I'll tell you right now, you'll know the day I get high is the day I don't come in. I've worked in my job 6 years, and I've never called in sick once. You know what I mean? Like, I broke my arm at work 2 years ago on a Monday, and I was back to work on Tuesday. Like,
You got hurt on the job too.
Yeah.
And you didn't do work comp, like you didn't go after the company, none of that, right?
No. I mean, it was my fault.
Still though, I think that with like what Jimmy's going through, like you hit it on the head, I think, right away.
It's how I show up. You know what I'm
like
saying?
I
Like,
said.
I'm not looking for a freebie anymore, right? I like, look, could I have, I don't know. Like, my brain just doesn't work like that anymore. My brain works in, hey, buddy, you used all your fun tickets up. Like, now we owe you guys some money or something? Jesus, coming in here like I got warrant.
So we're changing things around. Jared, how has things changed for you since the life you used to live to the life you're living today? Like, what's
Who
the
are you?
big
Where'd
thing?
you come from?
Yeah. Warm us up.
Came from everywhere.
Get as close as you can to that mic. Here, let me try to move it.
Here, give me this.
Yeah. It's kind of a goofy.
I came from everywhere. Why I'm here though is actually because of this man sitting next to me. I've been sober for 15 years. I didn't go to anything, and I went back out 15 years later.
Were you involved in the program?
Not at all. Not at
Okay.
all. And that's why this time I'm taking it, a lot different ways, And my guy over here has given me like a bunch of wisdom, dude. Like I just.
How do you two know each other?
He's my boss.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's the foreman on the crew.
Okay, so just kind of, we're gonna cap over because we're not gonna do the whole story. I want you back to tell your whole story.
Yeah.
I would, if you're okay with that, down the road. So you partied, then hung it up on your own. You're just like, all right, I'm done. So cold turkey, dry drunk, whatever you want to call it.
Prison.
And that prison weekends count.
Yeah.
Shit, I got high in jail.
Yeah.
I was able to do all that and drink and whatever. So you went 15 years. And then what? You decided to go back out, or you just picked back up, or?
Bad day.
Okay,
Bad
and that
day.
went on for how long? Just one day?
You know
or-
what? I only went back out this last time for 2 weeks, and I ended up in a mental.
It only took 2 weeks.
Yeah,
No, I think that's
It's
important
quick.
for people to hear. Like, it's not years. It can happen in a
Oh,
week,
yeah.
2 weeks, and nowadays with the fatty, it can be one high, and it's gonzo. So then, how long ago did you come back? What have you been doing for the 7 months?
everything I can, and this time next is make me want to even do more, And I love because I met this man, and that's the part of recovery I love, dude. Is meeting all these new people and helping each other, and that's the part.
So Dustin, like I said, hit it on that earlier. Didn't go in depth on it. He went and only want to become. We got to utilize connection.
You know what? I've been the best dad I've ever been. Like before, like I said, I wasn't even sober, and like I was
Miserable?
fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I never wanted to go home, and now it's like that's all I want to do is see my kids. That's all I want. That's like I'm looking at life different.
Well, that's kind of what I was talking about in the meeting today, where you can have all the things in the world, but if you go home to nobody, like, that's not recovery. That's taking your will into your own hands. And when we take our will into our own hands, I don't know about you guys, but I shit the bed hard. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And what you're talking about, like, it's the same thing. Like, as you guys know, I've lived with the same person for 6 years, and he's moving out. And for the first time in my life, I'm going to go home after work every night to an empty house.
Yeah.
It's the next chapter in my life. Like, and I'm going to have to utilize the men in these programs because I've always had some sort of accountability. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm at home and I'm alone and I get lonely and I get bored,
Our heads can wander, and without someone else to hold us accountable, things can happen and go south quick, easily.
they
Dan, we're gonna bump over to you because you're the first one who's gonna get bumped tonight. But it's not personal, just because you brought in some hot sticks and got my guys all over temped.
Oh well.
So you're chairing meetings now.
Yep.
What do you say to someone who comes up to you and, Dan, I'm really struggling, man. What do I do? What's your suggestion to that person?
Let's sit down and talk. You know what's going on. What are you struggling with? You know, you just
Let's play this out. I'm struggling. I'm having these thoughts I want to use.
all right, Tim. You know, let's go for a little walk. Let's talk about this. You know,
Man,
what's on your mind?
I just lost my job. My boss is harping on me, telling me I don't have no work ahead of me. I'm not sure where I'm going to live tomorrow. I got kids, mouths to feed. And, man, it's just an easy escape and an easy comfort. What do I do?
It might be easy to escape, you know, comfort, but it's only gonna be for, you know, one day or a couple minutes. You're just gonna feel, but when you wake up in the morning, it's not gonna feel that way. You're gonna be struggling again. You're gonna be looking around for that fix again. You know, when you know, give me a call tonight, and if you still feel like using, hey, you know, if I can, I'll come meet up with you. You know, otherwise, you know, we can sit and chat on the phone.
So you offer an ear. You offer some suggestions, or, you know, if you want what I have, do what I did type of deal.
Absolutely, I give to people what they gave to me.
Yeah. And that's kind of how you've really been talking about it, which I appreciate how you do bring that up, and you stand on that. What are some of the roadblocks that you've had to deal with in your recovery?
I had a big one come up actually just this last week. I'm in IOP, and like I said, I've been sober
Intense
since.
outpatient treatment. Okay.
Yep, I've been sober 6 months now. I've been on house arrest for 5.
Okay.
And I got hooked on these energy drinks really bad.
Okay.
And popped a false positive due to drinking energy drinks.
Pulse positive. Oh, you mean like with a UA?
Yeah, with a UA.
Okay.
And I know absolutely I did not use.
Okay.
So I said, what?
False positive for what? And
Meth-
methamphetamines?
Yep.
Woo!
My DOC, which doesn't look good either there.
Right.
And, you know, I'm on house arrest, you know, fighting a case. And so the only thing I could do is say, all right, I'll do a hair follicle test. You know, that's what I threw at them. They were pretty much, you know, okay, UA came back, you know, dirty from meth. We're going to sit at that, you know. They don't offer the hair follicle test. I said, well, you know, I'll give you a hair follicle test.
Yeah.
I know I'm sober. Well, unfortunately, that was $140-something I had to pay. And being that I haven't been working, it was hard to come up with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the addict in the back of my brain, when this all happened, it was the day I was meeting up with my sponsor to do my 4th step.
Mm-hmm.
And they said I was, you know, using the addict in the brain said, fuck it. They already think you're getting high. You might as well get high.
I know that thought, and I think a lot of people listening understand what you're saying. It's almost when Dustin talks about it, like, let's light a match, let's burn this bitch down. Why do you think your brain goes to that? Just it's natural, it's familiar.
It's natural, familiar. It's you know, comfortability. It's what I've done for years. But what I did this time, you know, granted, before I may have picked up the phone and called the dope man, I picked up and called my sponsor. And I said, hey, man, you getting here at, you know, I was supposed to meet around 5:45. I said, you getting here at 5:45 or 5:15? Because I'm having a rough day, brother, and we need to talk.
So you're utilizing the
Yep.
connections you made and utilizing your sponsor. So hurdles come up. You had no money. You had to drop a hair follicle on your dime. That came back what?
I have not got the results back yet.
Yeah,
I'll
are
get them
you
back
even
on the
worried?
day. No, I'm not worried.
That boy.
You know, that's the thing is it came up. It was weeks after I had failed this UA before they even said anything, because I don't even bother to ask my counselor at treatment what my results are, because I know that they're clean.
Right.
He don't even bother to look at them because he knows that they're clean, and he sends it to my, you know, conditional release worker, and she calls me up and says, "Hey, you popped positive from it."
A
I said,
surprise for them too.
yeah, I said, what? I chased my counselor down, no joke. Chased his car down, knocked him. Hey, man, what's going on? I had a positive UA and you didn't tell me? He said, what the fuck are they talking about? You know, he looked back and sure enough, it did, you know, pop positive, but it wasn't. I knew I had, you know, used, but it was just that struggles of being, you know, broke, not working, having all this stuff, and just wanted to say, fuck it. But I didn't, you know. I utilized the tools that I have now under my belt.
So, I had another question come up. Someone's saying that we're freezing up, but I popped on live and we're good. This, you know what? This can go to all of you guys. You guys get to think about the question. Where'd it go? He just sent it in. What's something that you've discovered about yourself since being in recovery that you weren't aware of?
That I'm a selfish bastard.
Elaborate.
You know, when I was using, I would, you know, if you were my friend, you know, I'd give you drugs here, I'd leave money, help you out, you know. But I was just doing that because it may have felt me good at the time. But now that I got sober, I have things that come up, you know, with my girlfriend where, you know, I'm like, since I'm on house arrest, I want to go to a meeting, and she drives, I don't. And she's like, "Hey, I'm a little tired. I've been hanging out with kids. I don't want." Oh, really? You don't want to go to a meeting? You know? You know, just flip out, like, because I can't go to a meeting because she's tired. You know, and when don't even bother to say, "Hey, babe, I understand you're tired." You know, what can I do to maybe help you out?
Right.
And it's just I tend to think about myself more than I tend to think about her. You know, it's all about me.
How do you get over that? What have you been? Is it just by recognizing it you're able to jump over that and kind of work on it or correct it, or does she call you out on it? Like, how does that
No,
play
that's
out?
the issue with us. She don't like to talk to me about it. She'd rather just, boop, you know,
Hand to the face, or just pretend it didn't happen?
pretend it didn't happen and just
move on?
Yep. But no, you know, I kind of realized it, and then I apologize for it, you know, and I speak about it more, you know, instead of just not dealing with it. Which before that's what I would have done, just had not dealt with it. Not got that out there because, you know, I'm not going to understand the issues I have, you know, of being selfish if I don't express them.
Right. No, and I get that. Jer, I'm sorry, I'm calling you like I got your nickname down.
that's all right.
Anyone out there listening, if for some reason we're having issues connecting, try through one of the other platforms, or I know we have this on 4 different YouTube channels, and there's like 3 different Facebooks. So go to the Will Work for Recovery Facebook page. I think that's a fail-safe. Any of the stuff with my personal page, for some reason, I'm getting some hiccups on it. So, Jeremy, what have you noticed or discovered about yourself in this last 7 months that you weren't aware of about who you are because of recovery?
That I am not accountable. I am not. And you know what the best is the other day, I learned this once again from my guy. We're at work, and
Better be careful on this pedestal.
he's been asking me to come to these meetings, you know. And it's like I've been going to a couple, and I got my home group or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll go with you, and then you just never show up, you know.
Yeah.
And one day we're out here, we're on Minnetonka, and we're sitting there. And he's like, "You gonna come to this meeting tonight?" You know, he's like, "Accountability is like the one thing that's helped me in my sobriety." And I'm like,
I love it.
Okay. And I haven't been accountable, dude. Like, and that's what I've been showing up now. I tell him I'm coming.
Yeah.
And you know, because I'm willing to do whatever it takes, dude.
That's the key. Stick with that, bro. Stick with doing what you're willing. It's one of the key words we learn about is willing. As long as you're willing, like, sky's the limit in this program. So tonight's first time being at Will Work for Recovery?
No, I went Wednesday with him, and then I told him so now, you know, this week I'm showing him my accountability.
So do you remember how this place was explained to you? Did he explain it to you? You just said, come check it out?
Not really, he just told me there's a really good group of people.
So you've been to other meetings, you said, right?
Yeah, I've gotten to meet him my whole life.
All
you
right.
know,
So
but,
you ever been to a place like this?
not like this.
How would you explain this to someone else? Like,
It's not so, like, you know, when you go to an AA meeting at a church. I'm not downing anything.
No,
Any
hey,
meetings.
it's your
are-
view. It's
I've
okay.
been everywhere, but this feels better for me. You know, it seems like a lot of people like me, like a lot of relatable people. You know, like that. You know, it's not like. So I've been to AA meetings where it's like a bunch of 60-year-old guys that, you know, are alcoholics, and which is, you know, like I said, I'm not downing anyone, but it's just not as relatable to me. Like, you know, a bunch of guys that ride bikes, or, you know, like, or, you know, had that hard life like I've had, that it relates to you a little bit more, you know, and for that helps my recovery. I don't know.
no, you do know. You just said it out loud. Like, that's how we work a lot of this stuff through is you're lucky that I don't want to pump Dustin up. But to be able to recognize some stuff about ourselves, like working some steps. I had a sponsor who, after sharing a 5th step and we worked some steps, like, he graciously pointed out some things about myself that I don't think I would have came to the conclusion. And without being willing, I'd have been on some defensive stuff. Like, I'm selfish. Fear. Yeah, right. My whole life was fear. But Dustin, what have you learned about yourself? What's one of the biggest things you recognize about who Dustin is today versus you not being able to see while active use?
I think the biggest thing that I found out that I'm a lot more sensitive than I thought I was, and it comes out
Feelings?
in, it comes out in anger, right? Like
No,
it, so like let's just be honest, like if I felt some type of way, I went towards anger. But like if you unpack that, I realized it was feelings of not good enough, not this, insecurities, stuff like that. Like
Fear? A lot of fear in there?
I think so. You know what I mean? I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, we talked about
you know what I mean? Like, I don't think anything's gonna ever work out. Like,
Can you, explain kind of when you just said waiting for the other shoe to drop? I think a lot of people need to hear this because I think a lot of us deal with what I've had conversations with you, so I know your take on it. Share
for
about
example,
that.
I've had the same job for 6 years. My superintendent, one of my superintendents is my brother-in-law. The other two freaking love me. And every year in January, I call them and say, "Do I still have a job?" And they're like, "Why are you calling?" You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
in my head, it's like I think I'm gonna wake up one day, my bank account's gonna be at zero, my landlord's gonna sell the house, and my job, they're gonna be like, "Oh wait, you're a dirtbag."
But it's not self-sabotage.
No, it's my whole life has been and here's the thing is like what I realize is my whole life has been chaos, and so I'm so used to being on the defense that now that I can be on the offense, it's a little bit harder, right? And so like I just had to learn how to like combat those thoughts. And like I was the kind of guy that would like fight for relationships, fight to be, like when shit was like whatever. And it's like I learned today, like if somebody doesn't want you in your life, if a job doesn't want you, if a person doesn't want you renting from them, if your baby mama is, whatever, if your baby daddy or whoever the person in your life, if they don't appreciate you, somebody else will. And, and I'm in a very unique position where I came into these rooms and I got hooked up with a group of men that like call me on my bullcrap. Like I know a lot of people in recovery, they go do stuff and they just sit around and they gossip about other people and they talk trash or blah, blah, blah. And all that is your insecurity, right? But I have a group of men that have my back no matter what. And when I'm being an asshole, they tell me I'm being an asshole. And when good things happen, they're there to, celebrate. And when bad things happen, they're there to lift me up.
Right.
And, things are going to happen in recovery. And it's just how, and the other thing I'll tell anybody listening is like, how you show up for people is how people are going to show up for you. So if you're constantly looking for the next best thing, you're constantly, swiping on your phone for something better or, a better situation, a better party, a better meeting, blah, 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 blah. Like, well, when you need somebody, are they going to be there? And by the grace of God, like I've spent the last 5.5 years reaching out to guys. Hey, I could go through my phone right now. There's 10 guys today that I called and just check on. And it's like, I have this thing, like if you call me, even if I'm doing something, I will answer the phone and I'll be like, "Are you good?" And yeah, I'm good. All right. I love you. I'll call you later. You know what I mean?
You're a big proponent of hearing a voice. This text message shit, I know firsthand. That don't cut it for you.
No, absolutely.
Explain why.
It's because like when I'm in active addiction, I can send you a text and anything. Mm-hmm. But I'm very like, I need to hear your voice. I need the connection. I need the connection of like, are you good?
Right.
Yes or, you know what I mean? Like, I can send you a text message saying, "Oh, I'm great, life's good." Well, I got a needle in my arm and whatever. But like, and here's the thing is like, it's not easy. Like I sit and I'm like, I don't want to bug this person. They're busy. They're doing this. They've got a podcast. They're really cool. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah.
He's trying to make a shot at me.
And,
Hey, it was funny. Side note, I was helping out Dustin's dad with something, and I took a picture. I sent it to Dustin. I don't know why I'm sharing this. It just struck me so funny. Sent him a picture of me and his dad. I was like, check it out. I'm with Papa Dustin. He said, "Oh, what'd you say?"
I said, "Is that the dude you just met on Grindr?" But no, and here's the deal. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I talk shit. I have fun. Like, I bust balls. I'm pretty rough around the edges. But the thing about me is I'm going to lay all of my dirty laundry out in front of you because then there's no secrets. Like, here's who I am, like it or not. Like, if you fuck with me, okay, and if you don't, that's fine too. There's a lot of people in these rooms.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of guys that will sit around and quote the big book to you and on page 19 of this, that, and the other thing. But then you turn around and they're talking shit about a meeting, they're talking shit about somebody else, and blah 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 blah. Like, I'm not a therapist. Don't talk to me like one.
Well, and
I
actions, like profound shit we say versus profound shit we do.
Yeah, and it's like, how many of those dudes are actually going to show up when you need them?
Right. They're just good at quoting, good lip service. So, Jeremy, out of the blue question. We have a guy here named Chucky, the soap man, from the Soap Zone factory right across the hall. And he's a great guy, and he has a vision about soap. Do you know anything about this?
I got some soap ones in.
Prove what? Talk to me about it. What was that experience like? Meeting him and getting it, and have you used it?
I have not used it.
Ah, bro.
It's still sitting right. Well, I'm a busy man.
I get it. I get it.
And you know, you think I should be using soap, right? But I do. I just haven't used that one. But no, he's a great dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone I've met so far is pretty awesome.
So Chuck C, he is the soap man, the So Hope man. And here's some of the soap here. We didn't talk too much about it at the beginning of the show. I was waiting for him to send me something to read about this, and what he sent me, that's the reason why I kind of cock-blocked this conversation and brought this up, was the guy who you're interviewing with the big beard without the mustache. I met him the other day and gave him some soap. I wonder what he thinks about the soap. I wonder what if he liked it or not, especially with the message.
I bet it's probably still sitting in his truck.
It is. Hey, how about this? The accountability thing. I will use it tonight, my man.
You heard that, Chucky. I had soap in my truck. It didn't make it into my house until about a week ago, and I love it.
People are texting up there.
Yeah, we've got.
What did that say?
Sasha said, "I'd love to do something like this. I love you guys. Can do."
Sasha, Ashley,
see you tomorrow.
Sasha.
Ashley told us that we were freezing up.
Tell her to get back to work. Maybe that's why it's freezing up, because she's supposed to be working.
Yes. No. Anyone out there on the job site, you can listen to the show while working. Question for you, Dano. Dano, what would you prefer to be called?
Anything but a piece of shit.
All right. I like it. What are you most afraid of?
That's a hard one right now.
Back of your mind, what holds like a big weight of fear for you?
Me just getting to that point where I just say fuck it and stop using the tools that are in my belt. You know,
Giving up?
kind of giving up. But I don't foresee that. But that's why they say one day at a time. You know.
So what have you found makes you truly happy? Have you found something that makes you truly happy?
We talked about this actually on Wednesday. Truly happy. I don't know if I'm truly happy yet, but I'm a lot happier than I was before. You know, I wake up every morning. I'm in a good mood. I got a smile on my face. I got friends in these rooms who message me every morning and say, "Good morning, man. How are you doing?" Things I didn't have when I was using. You know, I have some accountability now. I've learned to handle things that before baffled me. And, you know, now that I have those tools, I don't want to look back. I don't want to go back to that person I was before, but there's always that fear in the back of my mind where I might not see the fun. You know, that's my biggest thing in recovery, is to have fun. You know, if I'm having fun in it, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get high because I was miserable. I got high because it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was
you
for
know?
a long time.
Yeah.
Till it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and until I stop having fun in my recovery is when I really am gonna have to, you know, buckle down. Not saying I'm not buckling down right now, you know, but I have yet to see there not be something fun to do in recovery. You know, I went to Gopher State. That was a blast. I never shook so many hands, gave so many hugs, said hello, how you doing? Met people that, you know, from years ago, from getting high. You know, I just met this guy, you know, last Wednesday, and we know the same people.
Yeah.
You know, it's a small world, you know,
goes.
and it's good to see people that, you know, I may have ran into, you know, in my using days and are sober now, but my biggest fear right now is life showing up on life's terms and me not being able to handle it.
Dustin talks about that. I'm gonna read something. Someone named Mandy S sent me and asked me if I would read this. Then I have a question for you, and then I'm gonna close and get you out of that seat and put Wes in that seat.
I gotta get my son home in a minute. So.
Oh, then we'll get with you next. But I told her I would read this, and
Well, I got to get going too because.
here we go. Everyone's so important. and
My
too
girlfriend's
cool.
driving me, and she didn't want to stay here, but she stayed here for me, so I
Yeah.
can't be selfish.
Thank you, girlfriend. Why ain't you on the air? Why ain't you sitting in one of these seats?
Yeah.
I see how you are. All right. So Mandy asked if we read this. She just got her 6 years ago today. I almost lost my life to a failed suicide attempt and drugs. God wasn't done with me yet, and He isn't done with you either. Mental illness is real. Hang on, Mike. Don't go far. God wasn't done with me yet, and He isn't done with you yet. Mental illness is real. Addiction is real. Never judge anyone. You don't know what they've been through or what they're going through. Take time to feel the sun. Be patient. Be kind. Apologize when needed. Help others. Love others. Never take things or people for granted. Everybody matters. Each and every person is amazing and beautiful and worth it. Life shouldn't be wasted on selfish or little things. God is good and so are you. Never forget to reach out if you think someone's struggling or if you're struggling. Don't forget to reach out. So we're going to get to wrapping up. Can you hang out for a little bit? Or you're not on his coattails that much?
No.
All right. No. I figure I'd throw it in your face the way he threw accountability in your face. Oh, accountability is pretty cool, huh, Jeremy?
Hey, he went home and showered. I'm still in work clothes.
He didn't even use soap.
He didn't.
There you go, Chucky. See, he's waiting to use your soap. All right.
Hey, I tried that soap out. It is pretty damn good.
I use, man, where'd Mike go? Like, I don't know if it's eczema or call it what you will, but I get this dry shit right on the sides of my nose.
Those are boogers.
No, that's in my nose. But I started using this soap, man, and that dry stuff went away, man. So it's all good. Let's see here. Where's your question? So this, we'll just go around with this, and sorry, boys and girls. What is the pivotal moment in your journey that shifted you into recovery? What made you decide to get into recovery?
I'm not gonna lie, jail.
Okay.
I'm still facing some time, and being in jail right before Christmas, knowing that my girlfriend was in jail, I was in jail. Her daughter that calls me dad. I don't have any kids of my own, but I look at her as a daughter. Just knowing she's gonna spend Christmas without both of her parents, because both her parents were out there getting fucked
Being
up.
selfish.
Yep. And that's kind of when I broke down and was like, reached out to my family. I reached out to a bunch of addicts and said, listen, you need to get me into fucking treatment. I don't care where it is, Teen Challenge, Alabama, wherever. Just get me into fucking treatment.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie, at first it was, we talk about this in treatment a lot, internal motivation and external motivation. It was an external motivation. It was to get out of jail. I was tired of sitting in Ramsey County. Yeah. And then, about my second week into treatment, it turned more internal, where I was started to do it for myself, do it for my girlfriend, do it for her kids, and because I wanted to better myself, because I knew that I may, make the courts happy now, but in the end, it's just going to cause more trouble down,
Hey, whatever can get you through the doors. That was another question, was do you believe there's more than one way to find recovery? But we're not even going to talk about that. Side note, Ramsey County is the first place that had a green bologna sandwich. I always thought people were on some bullshit when they said green bologna sandwiches. There's a real thing called green bologna sandwiches. Tell me about your gratitude. The name of this show is called Attitude for Gratitude. Tell me about your gratitude.
I'm grateful for the people I met in these rooms. Grateful to wake up every morning with a smile on my face and not a bong in my hand. Just grateful for people to reach out for me when I need help. Like Dustin says, he's got a group. I got a group of guys in my phone that were meetings I go to. If I don't show up to a meeting for 2 weeks or I don't talk to some of these, my phone's ringing. Hey man, how you doing? You all right? Which in the past I didn't have that. No. Someone may be calling and said, hey man,
You got that dope?
Yeah, you got the dope, or the bag was short because they wanted some more free dope. And it's just. Now I'm grateful that I have people, and that I remember seeing Dustin when I first came into these rooms. We said a couple words to him, each other, but I'm gonna get his number when I leave here, just because I want that more tools in my tool belt. I don't show up to the job site with nothing in my tool belt.
That's a great analogy. That's a great comparison. All right, left field, out of the left field. If you could have any superpower, come on, what is it?
Oh God, we go to this again.
Yes.
I don't even know. I see. I've said memory. I don't remember.
All right, well then, are we alone in the universe?
No.
Good enough. All right, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate you. Wes, batters up. Do you believe there's more than one way to find recovery?
Absolutely.
How so? What do you mean?
What do you mean? Is there,
Well, is there only the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous? Is there
No.
only Narcotics Anonymous? Like,
No. No, there's multiple. I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody that their way is right or wrong. I can just tell you what I did. At the end of the day, 612-251-7583.
yeah, I'll take
Here you go, little boy.
It's out there now.
It is. That's my number. Holler at your boy. Find me on Grinder.
Find him on Grinder. I want you on the show next time you come in, please. Whoa. All right, so you do believe there's more than one way to find
And here's the deal. I've had a lot of guys ask me stuff, and I'm not going to tell you your way's right. I just don't have experience in doing it that way. The only way that I found that it has worked for me is the way that I did it. And I've tried to do it 100,000 other ways, and it just didn't work. And that is what it is. You know what I mean? And I just know that I can't do it my way, right? Like, I had to find men that had things that I wanted. And it wasn't the cars, the motorcycles, or the girls with the big ditties. I had to find the dudes that had the inner peace. And that's what I wanted. I wanted dudes in my life that were reliable, that showed up, that were men, that were husbands, that, some of the most successful men I know show up for their wives, right? Or their children or whatever. And it's like, those are the areas that I've fallen short in my life, right? I've shot away a marriage, I've shot away everything. And, I can get things, but it's holding on to the relationships and building on those.
Name of the show is called Attitude for Gratitude. What's your attitude for gratitude?
Oh, man, I say it every single day, dude. I wake up and I'm not dead or in prison. What do I got to complain about? Things are going to show up. Like I say all the time, if you build your life on a person, place, or thing, that person's going to leave, that place can burn down, and that thing can get stolen. The only thing I have control over today is how I react to things. You know what I mean? Like, life is going to show up. Life shows up. Mm-hmm. I mean, all of a sudden you're riding your motorcycle and bam, you hit a van. You know what I mean? It
or
happens.
A van pulls out in front of you.
Whatever. We don't pull out. But anyways, it is what it is, man. And it's like, sometimes you have to sacrifice instant gratification because it's not in the best interest of everybody, right? Like, yeah, do I want to go buy a Harley? Yes, I do. But did I make myself a promise after I sold my last one that I would wait until my kids were older? Yes. Because all of the selfish shit that I've done, the last thing I need to do is get sober, get my life together, and end up getting T-boned by a kid that stole a car leaving here.
Right. Like old Bob went through.
Amen, brother.
Outside? Oh. Yeah, life shows up. See how that goes? So, Dustin, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Everybody looks at me crazy because I always introduce myself to them. I wish I had memory.
Oh, photographic memory. Dustin, thank you for coming on. And
Thank you for having me. Here's Chris.
No, you're up. I got you on next. You're up. All right, young man, who are you?
I'm Wes.
Welcome to the show, Wes. I heard you share something tonight in the meeting. Are you okay sharing about what you've been through in this last few weeks on the show?
Oh, I had a heart attack here about a little over 3 weeks ago.
Say what?
Had a heart attack 3 weeks ago.
How'd that come about? What? Talk me. And this is you've been in recovery for what? A couple months now?
No. No, I've been sober since December 11th, 1978.
Okay, so about 46 years.
Yeah, coming up on 46.
46 years. So you've done this a little bit. Dustin shared about life's going to show up no matter what our plans are. Take me through that. What happened? I didn't know this. I just heard you tonight bring that up. Share with me what you're comfortable sharing with about that experience.
Well, I like to ride my old beat up bicycle. It's one of my passions next to doing auto repair. You got to find things you enjoy doing, being sober.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I enjoy. I take pride in my skills, being a mechanic and because I was so used to having nothing.
Yep.
And the program restored some faith in myself and some real pride and dignity back into my life over the years. And I was riding my bike that night, and it was on the Thursday before Gopher State, and I parked my bike in the garage, and I was sitting down watching my usual YouTube programs, you know,
Your routine.
my routine, and I like watching autodiagnostics, so that's my passion, and I started feeling a sensation in my chest, and I got up, Jesus ain't right, so I went and got a drink of water, and I laid down, and it got worse. Then it got worse, and then I called my son upstairs, and he said, Dad, what's wrong? I said, I'm getting this pain. He said, let's go to the hospital. And I said, it got worse and worse. And I said, no, I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm going to call an ambulance.
You made that call? You made
No,
that
my
decision?
son made that call.
Okay.
And I says, yeah, you better. And right now the pain was getting so great. And they took it was so jacked up. My son's phone died. And then I had to give him my call, my phone, the L911, but they were underway. And at that time, the pain was getting so bad.
What kind of pain? Just like tightness? Or
No,
like,
it was this pain right in your center of your chest,
okay.
and then your middle of your back, and it was very, very crippling pain.
Was it hard to breathe too?
I think so, yes. And it was so great, and I was getting angry. When the F are they gonna get here?
Right. Yeah.
One of those kind of pain.
Well, and there's some fear involved too.
Not so much fear, but the pain. When they gonna get here? And they finally came, and they hooked up the monitor, and they gave me the nitro. No, underneath your tongue.
Okay.
And then they say it expands the blood vessels, and it's let blood go through to my heart because I had a restriction. And
Did they do EKG? Is that how they can?
Well, they put a monitor on you, and they look at they know how to read it,
Right.
and they could see something was going on, and I couldn't lay down. Then they had me sit up, put me up, and the gurney strapped me in, and I got a fast ride to the hospital. Sirens blasting, and
Oh, they did that right there in
right,
the ambulance.
yeah. Within 5 minutes, I was on my way to HCMC, and then they put me in the trauma thing, and then they were already there. They shaved me, had the patches on me if they had to hit me with the paddles, and they kept giving me the nitros to get the pain to come down.
Could you tell when they give you the nitro, was there an instant relief?
Yeah, the pain would subside a little bit, but it was more manageable.
Do they do pain meds as well or no?
No, they just give you the nitro, and it expands the blood
blood,
vessels,
okay,
let
so
blood,
flow.
because I had a restriction
Okay.
in the heart, on the left side of the heart. They call it the widowmaker.
Oh, it was the widowmaker artery.
Yeah. And so it went well. They put me up in the cat lab, and then they give you a little mild sedation, but I didn't feel anything. I'm so brain dead anyways. I think I sniffed too much glue and paint thinners and all that in my preteen life.
So how long they keep, when a heart attack happens, they figure out, okay, this was a heart attack, we're addressing it now. They do. How long do you end up staying in the hospital?
I only stayed 4 days.
4 days.
And they let you out. They want to get you up and moving, tell you to take it easy. Then they set you up for cardiac rehab down at HCMC. And I went to my first session today.
What's that like? What is?
Well, you got to get on the exercise.
So it is like
equipment.
a PT type of.
Well,
weird-
what they do is they put a heart monitor stickers on you, and they're watching it. They're trained professionals, and they watch for it, and they just they want you. It's really strange. And like most people would think that you're supposed to take it easy. Yeah. Oh, geez, you got a bad heart. You don't want to stress it. It's going to kill you. But, the heart muscle's been shocked, and it's just like it's a muscle, they say.
Right.
And this is what I'm learning anyway. I could be wrong, okay? But this is what I'm comprehending, was that it's a muscle. And when you get a heart attack, you bruise it. And
Yeah.
sometimes you can actually kill parts of the nerves in it, but unfortunately, they said I looked all right from the echo.
So what are you, 62?
65.
65 years old.
And going on 65, going on 45.
So like, I'm gonna get to you. Don't get antsy, bro. Don't get in.
I ain't getting that.
I don't want you to leave.
I'm here.
Good. So Wes, like 45 years. The question was geared towards, well, if you think you were still in active use, how this would have occurred, but we can't even apply that.
Really. What they tell you is that even they don't want you drinking.
Okay.
They don't want you smoking.
Okay. And you're a pretty healthy guy. You
I ride my, I
and
ride
you
to
don't
get,
smoke, you don't drink, you don't really have vices like that.
No, and I ride the bike, so
Yep.
I ride the ghetto blaster, and my old beat up bike,
Yeah,
and
I've
I
seen
tell
it.
people, I make a little joke if I stay at a corner, people give me dollars. I don't even need a piece of cardboard.
But like on that note, Wes,
But had I not done those
yeah.
things, I wouldn't have been here.
but do you have a clogged artery or do you have anything like that
Well,
where they're
no.
like, this is why it happened?
Yeah, you sometimes you don't know it's there. You know, like you might feel weak. They said when you're exercise and you get a little weak and stuff. But with some of us, it sneaks up on you. It just bites you in the butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of scientific to it. You know, you get a restriction and you get a plaque buildup on the artery, and underneath that there's a little skin or something, and that's where that cholesterol sac is.
Okay.
And then once that little skin breaks, it's like a blister. It comes up, and that's what causes the clot and the restriction.
And then the heart attacks.
And then the heart starts starving for, they say, from oxygen blood.
Well, I remember there's a guy, Sam D. He's since passed, but same thing. Crept up. He had multiple heart attacks near the end there, but
I got a question. What is this then? People want to watch.
tell him to go to the We'll Work for Recovery's Facebook page. That's the best way for someone to find it. Otherwise, like there's the Attitude for Gratitude YouTube channel, but tell him to link up with We'll Work for Recovery's Facebook page. You know what? Here, if you give me your phone number. Put your phone number down on here, and I'll send it to you, and you can share it that way, too. So, Wes, the rehab's today, first day of it. Like, how have you been feeling since you've been out?
You know, believe it or not, I feel better.
Really?
Since they've done this, I feel good. So it must have been there for a while. It's just that it really got bad. They said it was 98% blocked.
Wow.
So, and then, so I feel good. I actually feel better than what I did before this all happened.
That's good.
Yeah, so it did its purpose, you know.
So I've got a common question. Now, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it through that, and I'm glad you're able to share with us about it. The common question a guy asked earlier, but someone wanted to hear from someone with the time you have. Do you still deal with hurdles in your recovery? Hurdles about your recovery?
Well, sometimes people take your inventory,
Yeah.
and I don't like that, and I think they're full of shit. I think sobriety speaks for itself. Your life will speak for itself.
Is that right?
Yep.
And I'm not a follower. I believe the fellowship is a fellowship of individuals. And I think you also know I'm Ojibwe, so I have spiritual beliefs and Ojibwe beliefs, and there's no two stars alike in the heavens.
There's no two stars alike in the heavens.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And what I'm
We're
trying
all
to say,
unique.
what I'm trying to say is each individual that is in these rooms, according, this is my philosophy.
Yep. And that's your. It's
They're,
valid.
they're centered in their own sobriety, and you know what's going to work for you, and you know what's going to make you feel good.
But wait, no. Before you go further, how did you figure that out, though? Was it the day you walked into recovery, you knew what would make Wes happy, or how long did that take for you to find that peace?
Well, until I did the steps.
Come on.
I had to live the program. I
Come
just
on.
couldn't talk it. I thought I could. For 18 months, from 1976 to 1978, I was just a young 18-year-old kid. I went in and out of AA. I went to meetings. I thought maybe I could get this, as they call it, rigor mortis. But you're going to wake up. You're going to remember everything. And when they say you got to turn your will and your life over to the care of God, and the third, you got to turn that life over to the care of God, the life that you brought in with you. Just like the book says, it says our adventures before and after make clear the three pertinent ideas, your experiences. And there's a lot of misinformation in there. I could not see my disease as an illness. I seen it as a sin because of the things I said and done when I was in my blackouts. You see?
Yeah.
And so I came in full of guilt, shame, and remorse. What I didn't know was that there was nothing I could do to change it because I had become powerless over it. And as about my personal powerless over that, I couldn't stop it. And I tried. I was trying for 3 or 4 years to clean my act up and get off this stuff, but I couldn't get the obsession out of my head. I kept picking up. I had become hopeless. I had become powerless. And as a personal result of it, my life had become unmanageable. Another word I wish Bill would have said, unbearable.
I hear that. I
You
hear
see?
that.
You see?
Is that kind of that piece people talk about? And you know what? I'm going to move it over to Chris.
But then I want to say,
Or
no,
go ahead.
Okay, then you go to that second. Came to believe that a power greater than yourself could restore your sanity.
Yep.
To me, that means keep your sorry ass sober, and then you get so much more. You get so much more than just sobriety. If you really do this thing, you're gonna want more. An alcoholic never does anything in half measures.
Nope. Come on. I like
No,
where you're
he
going
doesn't,
with this.
because he wants more for himself. Because there's one thing I know about me. Even if it means it's going to take me to hell, I want to feel good.
Yeah.
You know, I want to feel good about myself, and I want to feel good about my life. I never went with the intention to end it up the way it did. You see,
Right.
But this program saved my life, but it also given me a life. And now I hear you ask people about the power.
Yep.
I got the power. And you got the power.
I love when Wes said, "Yay."
You know what that power is? The ability to save another human being's life like yourself. You see?
Love that.
But you can't give something that you ain't got.
Can't draw a roadmap somewhere you haven't been.
That's right. And you already been there. You know, even there's some things in your life that you can't talk about to other people you think. But think about this. Some people will never let you make amends to. But think about this. Just like the promises. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how those experiences can benefit others. We can use that to help another addict or another drunk that has done the same thing. We got to let them know they're not alone.
Never.
They're not alone. And that was one of the things that I did not know until I got here. Are you really like me? Are you
That's-
really,
yeah,
have
yeah,
you
yeah.
really
Yeah.
suffered the way I have? Because if not, let me get the hell out of here because I'm dying inside.
Yeah.
You see? You got to give me something that's real and genuine. You see? I got to see your miracle to get my own.
That's right.
I got to know you come from the same point, the same bottom that I came from.
Yeah.
It's not promotion, it's attraction, not promotion. You know, when my hell talks to your hell, magic happens. Because that's when the grace of God comes forward and we can shine. I could go on, man. You guys got me on fire now. You see what you guys did?
No, I love when Wes goes off on one like he is right now. Yeah. And listen, you got someone behind you needed to hear what you said. This is how, and this is a part of what you just said. We find another person like us and give them what we got.
And here's the thing,
You're
too.
not alone.
Just like I was sitting here. When you live in the past, and if you don't do the steps, you're going to stay stuck in the past. And the longer you stay here, the more stranger the present becomes.
That's the truth.
You see what I mean? The longer you live in your past, in your shit, in the garbage, in the trash, the more stranger the present becomes. Does that make sense?
100%.
You feel like an alien.
Because
But-
shit's happening you don't understand because you are not working in this new life.
It kind of goes can I throw a little Christian at
Come
you?
on.
You can't put new wine on old wineskins. You see? And it's the same thing in the book, too. You see? Because, when you know what makes AA happen? Here's what makes it happen. If you ever take the book Alcoholics and you split it down the middle, 1/3 of the book is how it works. The other 2/3 is personal stories. Put your personal story and bring that to the 12 steps. That's when the magic happens. Not mine, but the best sobriety to have is your own.
Yeah.
You see?
You can't have my experience.
But you can get your own.
Or
But you'll
my-
get, but you'll get
or
the
my
same.
inventory.
But you'll get the same results.
Yeah.
What's the results? Happy, joyous, and free. God damn it! Does it feel good when you actually achieve something in your life now?
That's gratitude for attitude.
And,
Just throwing
and,
them
and
out.
then,
That's what
and
he
then,
does.
then there's pride.
them out.
What about real pride? Feeling good about your accomplishments. I mean, I didn't even have a GED when I got here. But you know what? But there are some rules to the game. Right? If you take these gifts and you use it to help others, excel, man.
Yeah.
Excel.
Because, you know, one of the greatest things about having a passion is being able to teach, too.
Yeah. That makes
Would you say this is your passion? Recovery is your passion?
God darn right it is. The first things first, man.
I know it is.
It is. You know, it is. It's my passion.
Yeah.
Because when the shit hits the fan, don't get me wrong, it wasn't smooth. I had some hard shit happen to me. And surprise. I mean, I hear people losing jobs and all this stuff. I went through a thing in 2000. That was 24 years ago. I was at the power count. I was living on top of the mountain. And I was going to go all the way down to the bottom. And I'm 40-some years old in that time, right?
Let's get some sustenance. He's a circuit speaker around the world, right?
No, I not really.
Come
I
on.
speak to Native Americans. I speak
Man, he's dumbing it down. Travels because you can hear the message how he speaks. People want to hear that, and he goes around. He travels distances to share his story.
No, because you got the same gift as me. You see? But you got to just exercise the honesty period. You just got to exercise that honesty.
Yeah.
Just be honest with yourself about it. It's killing you because you're not being honest with yourself.
And if you're listening to him right now and you feel a certain way, it's because it applies.
Yeah.
It applies.
You see?
And
there's-
it'll make you sick.
you know, this is the only,
100%.
you know, this is the only program in the world where you admit you're wrong to get right.
Isn't it also the only self-diagnosis program there is?
Well, you know, you hear a lot of things, you know what I mean? And you can get very confused. Like some things I don't agree with. Well, alcohol is only a symptom of my problem. What the hell put you in that chair? You know?
Yeah,
You
but
know, yeah, well, you know, there's one story in the big book I really do love. And it's called, the woman says, the medical profession would tell me that I was conditioned for alcoholism by the things I experienced in my childhood. And then we go through trauma, abuse, and sex and all that shit, you know, slammed around and all that. But then the AA has taught me I'm the result of the way I reacted to those things that happened to my child. Therefore, through the simple program, I can change that reaction pattern and allow me to match calamity with serenity. Nothing's wasted here, man. Nothing is absolutely wasted here. Because you're not alone. Others have been there with you. God will use you as a tool to bring them out of hell.
Speak on it, brother.
You see what I'm saying?
I didn't think I was gonna hear some knowledge like this.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. I've been sober 45 years. I think I got my head on my ass. You know what I mean? All I'm trying to do is grab you by your shoulders and pull your head out of your ass, you know?
Good luck. I've been waiting.
You know?
I've been
He
waiting.
speaks the truth though, like,
You know.
and it comes from his own experience.
Yeah.
Young man, who are you?
I'm Chris.
Welcome to the show, Chris. How long you been doing this thing?
July 4th, it'll be 6 years.
How long have you been coming to Woodwork for recovery?
A little over 2.
What's been the biggest asset of being in recovery for you?
The biggest asset?
Yes.
The biggest asset is probably, man, inner peace and gratitude for life.
What's been your biggest the best thing you've gotten back since you've been in recovery?
I like to wake up with no regrets. You know, like I like to wake up with like the not, you know, I didn't use.
What did I do last night?
What did I do? You know, I guess you're still gonna maybe have some regrets. You can still create wreckage and some.
And real quick, before you even finish, has it changed with this question for you throughout the 6?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just so because that could change. Like that usually will change.
No, I had 15 years and I was miserable.
Yeah, well, yeah, dry drunk.
yeah,
Dry drunk. Did you work any
exactly.
steps in that 15 years?
Not a one. And I didn't do anything.
Anything
besides
recovery
just
related.
stay miserable and sober. You
Right.
know?
And
I
you know
just
what,
didn't drink. That's all I did. You know?
I see you got more candy for me, Tim.
Yeah. All right.
But honestly, and that's why like I'm still here right now, and that is why I'm still. I heard this man. I've heard some.
Well,
I've heard
and
some
like God,
amazing
he said,
things.
God's a strategist, and like Dustin got put in your pathway for a reason.
110.
And however that opened that door to get you to this door to hear this man, this is how this whole thing works, bro.
And then and it's wild. No, it is. It's wild because like I've needed it lately more than
Get this shit. Get this shit.
I've needed it more lately than ever.
Get this shit. You know,
I
you
do.
know what? You know what I was told a week ago? I scare newcomers away from the program. I think I attract them. I attract them.
You
The
got
ones
me.
that get scared away are the ones that don't want to hear this, that don't want to be here.
Well,
they're looking for reasons not to
Yeah,
stay.
they're the ones that need it the most.
Yeah.
And that's why
You know, it's I could be wrong on this,
Wes,
but I
Wes,
do.
you're still planting a seed if
Let me
if
tell
you're
you.
scaring them
Let
away.
me tell you. Let me tell you something.
big one.
You know, there's a lot of obstacles, right? And I could be wrong, because the book does say there are those who suffer from grave emotional mental disorders. But I think I see more people today using mental illness as their excuse to get high.
But anyone listening, like, mental health is a real thing.
Yeah.
Address it. Seek medical
What I'm trying
professional
to say
stuff.
here,
Don't
what
him
I'm
scare you
trying
away
to
from
say,
that.
what I'm trying to say is, addiction is an illness by itself,
Yeah.
and it's the world's greatest con.
Addiction creates mental health
Well,
too.
yeah. Well, yeah. Your drugs will make your life unmanageable.
Yeah.
It affects all aspects. But I'm trying to say here is that it's a disease, and it talks to you. You know, this is the only disease in the world that talks to you and tells you you ain't got it.
Yep.
You ain't shit.
You ain't. You know, it's going to be better this time.
Yeah.
It's not going to end in disaster this
You got
time.
it under control.
You're going to get it under control. You're going to smooth. You're going to meet her tonight.
Yep.
You know, and she's going to be what you want her to be. And it cons you, and it manipulates you. And that's what was explained to me earlier by the founding members out down at 2218. It's the world's greatest con. There is no con equal than the alcohol on the mind of the alcoholic. And I don't think it's any different for the drug addict. It's the world's greatest con. And you can't win in single-hand combat.
No.
That's, but you got, see, I got my whole sobriety is based on the three-legged stool.
Explain that stool.
Okay, that stool is me, you, and God. Because any one of those legs are missing, it falls over. And when it falls over, you know what's that going to tell me? I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to get miserable. It's going to come back, and I'm going to go get drunk. And there's no guarantee I can make it back in that door again. I damn near died coming back in 78.
Yeah, but Wes,
But I went through a living hell getting here. The depression, the anxiety,
Wes,
everything.
You're the one that can only make that stool fall over.
Every day is a day you have to make a decision. This is a 24-hour-a-day program.
Yeah.
This is the program that we live it one day at a time.
I live a second at a time.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
And you see, if I can't connect with my higher power, and I do, I got you.
Yeah.
You're middle management, man. We do this together.
I love that shit.
We can do together what I can't do alone. And I got to stay plugged in. Because if I ain't rubbing elbows with you guys in here, where do you think I'm going to be rubbing elbows? I'll be in the bars
on the
rubbing
bar
elbows.
stools.
Diabetes here soon.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, I could go on and on,
Wes, you got it though.
and so do you. The message is very simple.
Yeah.
The message is very simple, but you got to live it. You know what happens when you do your 9th step? The resentments fade.
That's amends.
Yeah,
Is the ninth
yeah.
step.
When you make your amends and you say, "Hey, I'm ready to let go of this," you meant it. It becomes old shit. You just flush it down the toilet. Because and it's like the 12 said, practice these principles in all your affairs. Because you're looking at life from a whole different perspective now. And it's not that you're so different from other people. You're living life just like anybody else on the planet.
You're sitting on a different stool.
And here's another thing. Someone just was sharing about this, and they went on and on, but it can be summed up quick. You're sitting in your driver's seat of your vehicle. You're looking ahead. How big is the rearview mirror? About 2% of your view?
100%.
You got 98% of what's in front of you. Stick with that. Get out of the past. The only reason you should be looking at the past is on things of fixing it.
Well, you got to let go of it. Sometimes you ain't going to be always wrong.
Tim, you can't.
A lot of
think about it, fix it.
misunderstanding, a lot
At
of
least make the
misunderstanding.
amends.
You see?
Step 9.
I'll take
life's
care of
not
my
gonna
words
always
next
be
time a little
good, so
better.
blowjob.
Because you got to look at it's
Semantics.
a physical illness. You're right. You can't control it when you use. And 2, it's a mental obsession. And you see, you can't change it, but something greater than yourself can do for you what you can't do for yourself. You see? See, this is what I taught. I keep it. I could be wrong. Rarely have we seen a person fail that has thoroughly followed their path. I always tell them, thoroughly followed their path. What are they failing at? What are you failing at? And you got to ask. I think, to me personally, I was failing at staying sober. I couldn't do it. I knew what the solution. What's the solution to alcoholism?
Not drinking.
Thank you. It's just that simple. But if you don't clean up the past and let go of it and make amends, you ain't going to stay sober. And you sure in the hell ain't going to be happy being sober.
No, and that's the thing.
And
is that-
you see, self-centeredness.
gotta keep
They
going
say
with it when
they
you
say
gotta-
they say self-centeredness is the root of the problem. I like to call it self-condemnation.
Well, that's the thing. As being sober, though, you have to find happiness in sobriety. That is also another huge thing that
Think about
I
this.
found.
Think about
for
this.
me.
Think about this. If you give up the fast, happiness will come.
Like Paul says, you got to find something that you
see?
love
You
in
see?
sobriety.
It's a new beginning.
No, it
keep you
is.
there.
It's a new beginning. You see.
It is, and that's why this time I feel I've actually jumped into actually finding people that are in sobriety. I was just hanging out with everyone else, drinking and not drinking.
No, to believe me, there's people out there that haven't warped their minds to the extent that we have,
Yeah.
and they can stay sober.
And,
Yeah.
and I'm not
And,
saying
and,
I
and,
still
and they
don't
do.
hang out with people that
And they
drink,
do.
'cause
And
we're
I
all-
mean,
Yep.
I even go to the Alamo clubs and I hear them. Don't even brag about how they haven't even read the books.
Yeah.
And they don't even go to meetings.
No.
There's requirements.
I do this because I like the quality of my life now.
yeah.
And it keeps, like Wes said, once we're in this, doing this, I don't know until I do it. So once I do it, things get better. And I don't want to be unfamiliar with what's ahead of me. And the way I don't be unfamiliar with it is keep doing this stuff. Question came in for everybody, and we're going to go around the table like this.
Let's hear it.
What was your surrender moment?
My surrender moment.
Yes. If
When-
you remember it.
My most surrender moment was when my external motives turned internal.
Explain that real quick.
Like, I mean, I was in jail. Had to sober up for probation. You know, but then internal motives like wanting to change my life, wanted inner peace.
Okay, I get it.
Yep.
That happened while locked up.
No,
Oh,
it happened afterwards.
okay. Shit, we can't even go. And we're having, for some reason, I've had multiple people tell me that the show is pausing up on us on their end. So we probably won't go too much longer. It's something to do with this dumb internet crap. Whatever. Did I ask you this earlier? No, I didn't. Do you remember what your surrender moment was?
Yeah, when I lost my family.
What do you mean? Like they got a car accident or?
Oh, they left because I was a mess. I mean, I was
That made you say, I'm doing whatever it takes?
whatever it takes to be the best dad.
And that was 7 months ago?
Yeah, to be the best father I can be. That's honestly, that's
Hey.
I every day. That's what keeps me going. You know, like I used to always want to be the coolest guy and be that guy. You know.
What, you had ego and bondage yourself?
Yeah.
Wow,
What-
imagine that.
And I all I want to be is the best father. I do. I want to teach my kids to not be like me. You know, I want them to grow up to be the best. You know, to be-
Right.
to
That's a
have
hell of a
happiness and
motivator.
not go through the darkness. You're gonna go through the darkness, right? But I guarantee my kids can learn a lot from my experiences and what not to do. The cool kids aren't that cool,
Hell no. I was the coolest kid at the playground, and look where it got me.
and
Look where it got me.
and you know, like all that stuff, it's garbage.
It's like
Hey,
saying I'm
hey
the
man,
coolest kid on the short
nowadays
bus.
when the cool kids walk in the room, I'm like, fuck, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wes, do you remember your surrender moment all that 40-some years ago?
It was on December 11th, 1978.
I love this. Talk.
Because I accepted I can't live like this no more.
Yeah.
You know, there was an old timer. He said, "You'll know when your party's over. You'll know." Because one thing about coming to these meetings, you know, you become like a donkey carrying a manure wagon behind you. You know, and you just got narrow-minded. But the program will take the blinders off.
Yeah.
And you see everything happening around you.
great
And one of
analogy.
the things it will say is it will mess you up. It will mess up your using. It will mess up your drinking. You don't think you feel pain. You're gonna feel pain like you ain't never gonna feel pain again. But you know one thing you're gonna know?
What?
There's an option that you never thought about.
Yeah.
You see?
I think that was one of the best ways I've heard it worded. How you just worded it when everyone's like, "Oh yeah, why don't you go to AA, Rex? You're drinking." No, the blinders come off.
The blinders come off and everything becomes real. You know?
Yeah.
Because there was an old saying I seen, SOB, son of a beat,
Yeah.
everything's real. And when you're going to feel everything, you can't lie to yourself no more. because
know better.
the truth is going to stare you in the face. And that's the same thing with you. You can try to hide from it, but it's always going to be there now.
Now you got to process a lot.
You know, every day, continue to take personal inventory. It's a way of life.
Yeah.
There's always room for growth. Trust me.
Speaking
No
of
one
that,
is perfect.
Wes, here's the next question coming to you because after 46 years, I'm wondering if you've got something like this going on. Do you have what is your nighttime routine? Wait, what is your nighttime routine now that you're not drinking before bed? I don't know how you went to sleep before, but do you have an evening routine that you do every night that you do? Like, some come on and say, yeah, I do a thorough 10-step. I think about my day in the past and have I wronged anybody? Do I need to make amends? It's blah, blah, blah. Some say I can't. I hit my knee. Do you have an evening routine?
Well, I reflect. I do reflect on my day. And believe me, if I did something wrong, I usually try to go to bed with a resentment, Oh, that son of
No,
a...
it's so soft when I'm
Oh, that son of a gun. Or I said, oh, geez, I can't sleep tonight because I'm worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. You know what I mean? Or, oh, that guy really hurt my feelings when he said that to me. And believe me, I can carry a resentment even yet to this day.
Hey, we're some emotional people.
And I says, no. And I ain't going to I ain't going to forgive him until that SOB says he's wrong. And then finally,
don't let him reserve that
but here's
space.
the point. But here's something I heard from Faye Bergstrom, and I never forgot it. He says, Wes, when the pain gets greater than the pleasure, you'll change. Or you're going to get drunk.
Yeah, you'll get real thirsty.
You
do you
what
have
I
a
mean?
nighttime routine, Jeremy?
My nighttime routine is praying.
There
Right,
you
do
go.
prayer. You do prayer.
Pray.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
pray.
there you go.
I pray for better days. I pray for my higher power himself. I hope he has a great day.
I've done that. Like I
I
have.
pray for everything. I pray for
There you go.
everything. I pray for I just pray for sometimes for my own forgiveness, to forgive myself.
Yeah,
I think my hardest thing in sobriety is forgiving myself for
That's
what
huge.
I have
Yeah.
done. For Ben, that's probably my biggest thing.
Yeah, once my memory came back, my clarity came back, I realized I don't like saying piece of shit, but what a terrible guy I had been prior to recovery.
Yeah,
Right.
it's hard.
It's like one more thing, then I'm going to shut up. One of the things the book says, and you got to remember this, but you got to give everything up to get it. Do we have a sufficient substitute for alcohol? Have you guys ever read that in AA's big book? Yes, it is. It is the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. There, your imagination will be fired. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I look forward to sitting with you guys. I look forward to sitting around here and talking with you guys. You see, because I can't do it alone. And lonely,
That's right.
I can't. This is my third meeting today, and I've been so
46 years and
for-
you still.
I went to a meeting at 7. I went to a meeting at noon. I went to 2218. Then I rode my bike over here and said, I can catch the Friday. Now I'm on this.
And you know what? This isn't I'm going to tell you guys something. Like,
If you
some
wanna
guys
get-
come in and do what he's saying, but it's more of a status thing. This is what he does because this is
What I
his
wanna do.
Yes.
What he needs.
And
I
here's
need-
the
I
other
need
thing
this.
on what Wes is doing is Dustin sat in that chair and was like, you get these guys in 40 years quoting big book. There's a big difference between someone quoting it and someone putting it into proper application. He is bringing up stuff from a big book that applies and he understands what he's saying and he's talking about how it works through his life. That's what you quote. That's what you do. And every time you've quoted something, it's been applicable. It's related to whatever conversation we're having, how to utilize it in life, and that's, I believe, the purpose of some of our literature out there. It's a guide. It's our textbook to life.
Well, it's like this here, the big books, even all the books are like a good cookbook. It's got a lot of recipes in it. You can know how much sugar to put in, how much flour, how much eggs, how to beat it. But you ain't got shit until you get in the kitchen and start burning a few eggs. You know what I mean?
Make your own little
Yeah,
recipe,
yeah,
like
yeah.
your grandma.
Or
your mom.
you got to do it to get the results. Like I don't know how to cook very well,
Tim, well,
but I know where to get the information.
But it's also the same way, like you said, the you know, like your mom came and made, like, say this salad, right?
Yeah.
She had a recipe, right?
Yeah, she
but
followed
she
it.
made but she made her own recipe with it. She kind of does a
dazzled
little
it up.
different thing. a
Well,
little
well, yeah,
razzle
yeah,
dazzle.
there you go.
So you gotta
To her
you
own
take
taste,
the recipe,
right?
but you kind of make
Well,
it your
it's the
own.
same thing what they
Yes,
tell
you
you.
can, yes.
Choose your own conception of a power greater
There you
than
go.
yourself.
There you go.
But you make it work for you. And I'll tell you, anyone out there, once you get this thing, don't let nobody knock you out of your center.
No.
You see what I mean?
Chris, what's your nighttime routine? Do you have one?
Oh, nighttime routine. Well, with my career right now, no. At nighttime,
Yeah, your hours are all different.
yeah. I mean, I do have. I mean, I'd go with Wes. I reflect back on my day, but I do have a solid morning routine where I sit back and I think about, like, gratitude is huge in my life. Like I got so much gratitude for where I'm at in life right now that it's just, I mean, it's still, I almost got goosebumps because it overwhelms me, you know? Like, I won't look at my phone until a certain time in the morning. I'm grateful for the bed I'm laying in all the way up to, you know, it's just a routine that sets me up for my day. You know, it's you know, I pray and I just, you know, reflect and meditate. And then, I mean, I do a little yoga here and there, but
You were going to ask something or bring something up before I asked you that. Do you remember what you wanted to talk about? Was there
Yeah.
something? Go ahead.
the question was that you just asked.
The nighttime?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want, yeah.
Oh, you were going to answer. Okay. I do have another here. I'm going to bump another question to you,
I'll
everyone.
go first.
And then we're going to get to wrapping up, and then I'm going to do a one-on-one with the guy in the room here. How much time are you getting back now that you're not using?
How much time am I getting back?
Personal time.
Man, personal time. Well, let's say, I mean, personal time. I work a lot of hours. I put in.
Yep.
But it's still personal time for me because I mean, in my career, I'm helping people in sobriety. So really, it is all personal time still because I am growing while I'm helping people, you know? So, I mean, this is personal time.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I have a different question for you. I don't know the age of your children. Are they old enough to know what's going on?
They're 4 and 6.
Okay. Then with that, not to be an ass like I am. Stop. If you do, how do you even address any of this? The question was, how do you talk to your children about your addiction? But how is this even? Is it even talked about, or share with us?
You know, it's been brought up because how when they left, I was a hot mess.
Yep.
So it's more of daddy's getting better. You
Right.
know?
Something they can
I
understand.
don't try to overwhelm them with too much of it. It's just dad's trying to get healthy.
They're young. I didn't realize they're
You
that
know,
young.
and I just want them to know that dad is always trying to be healthier. Dad is doing things like when I go to these. She is asking me what I'm doing tonight, and I go, Dad's going to a meeting, and she doesn't know what the meeting.
Right,
you know,
right.
She doesn't know, but Dad is just going to a meeting to meet up with his friends to talk about, you know, being healthy
Right.
and just being healthy.
And you know what,
it
they're
doesn't-
pretty young yet too, so you don't
I
have
don't
to
want to overwhelm them
right.
with any of that. I
So-
don't know if that's right or wrong.
No,
or,
that's your.
you
I mean,
know.
and here you go. Check this out, Wes. How did you talk to your children about this life in recovery? Do you ever recall having those conversations? This
Well,
is how
they,
you
they
find
just
out.
got to observe me. Where's Dad? He's at his meeting. Where's Dad? He's at his meeting. You know, I got AA paraphernalia all over my house. I got grapevines in my bathroom. I had Dr. Bob and the old. You know, I had all the books. You know, it's all there.
So
you
that was
know?
just part of life.
Yeah, it was just part of life.
Okay.
You know, because I don't try to preach to them.
Well, your children have never seen you drunk.
No, never seen me drunk. I guess that's the most confusing thing. How can my dad be an alcoholic when
Yeah.
they never seen their dad drunk?
You kids have no clue how
They
dad
have
used
no,
to be.
you know. But their mother says that's what their mother says. You don't know how he used to be. I never seen him for 5 or 6 days at a time. You know.
I will. 'cause
But
found
I
the
want
spot.
to say this, and then I'm going to shut up. You don't have to be sober 46 years. to
I'll take care
help
of the
another alcoholic. When you look at how this thing started from AA, Bill Wilson was only 6 months when he met Dr. Bob. And then when they met AA number 3, Dr. Bob was only sober 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You see?
And that's amazing.
You know,
how
and
that-
it, and it
I
had such-
love that whole
you
whole
see what I
growth
mean?
of this
So
program.
don't think you have to be an old goat like me. You know what I mean?
No.
No, my dad's been sober for 45 years.
Yeah,
I've never
you-
seen
you-
him drunk.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? You can be just as, you know, if you really hear the history in California, there was only one woman that was sober for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And she was already sponsoring people. And she says, well, if you don't know what to tell them, I don't know nothing. She said, well, at least you know how to get them to the meeting.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. I mean, I used to dumb it down as it was me talking to another person like me about how I used to use it, now I don't use. It's just two guys or gals or whatever. It's whatever. That's a whole nother
Yes,
rabbit hole.
you can learn from anything. You can
Anything.
learn- Yeah.
Anything.
And it's
It-
like
you said, it'll speak to you.
you know, he says, you know, in the early days, they used to say, I used to hear the founding members say, because I knew a few of them, and he says, con that alcoholic, con that drunkie, con him. Tell him any damn thing, but just tell me there's a place where he can put his needles or whatever it is, you know. Tell them there's good-looking girls that dance topless
Tell
on the
them whatever
tables.
they need to hear to get 'em
whatever
through the
they,
doors.
just get them to the meeting. Just get them to the meeting. Get them hear the message.
Yep.
Because we're not that unique.
Nope.
We may
But
feel
that's
it.
the thing. My head used to tell me how special, and you didn't get high like I got high. You didn't shoot dope like you didn't like I. And I think one of the biggest things I came to an understanding of that helped me the most was I ain't shit. My story's not that special.
No.
I'm
Or it's not worse
I'm
or
not-
better than anyone.
And
I used
Tim,
to be-
Tim. Have
on.
you?
It's a common suffering.
No.
Yeah.
How now? Now in Spratty, how common do you hear how similar your story is to others?
Well, that's the thing. That's how we made that connection. Wes said earlier, that's what keeps us here, and that's what made this work for me. Is I found myself in your story.
Yeah.
I find myself in part of your story. I find myself in part of Wes's journey,
I see it every day, man.
and that's what makes this life a valuable life to me. All right, we're gonna get to wrapping up here. Wes, I want to hear all about your gratitude. Name of the show is Attitude for Gratitude, baby. Tell me about that gratitude.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. You're going to get high 2 ways. I like to get high this way.
Yeah. There you go.
Speak on it. Come on, what's your gratitude?
Oh, I'm just grateful to be
Man,
sober
you
today.
were kissing death in the face 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
legitimately.
let me tell you something. I sat there in the hospital and I said, I've been spared. I cheated death twice now. And I said, God, what is it? And I felt distant. I really did. I felt like I was alone. I said, what is it that you want me to do?
You didn't cheat death though.
Kind of a why you keep me here?
What is it? Come on. You want me to do something or I would have been gone. You know, and I realized, you know, Wes, you've been living in the past. Your dad's dead, your brother's dead, and all this shit. Get your head out of your ass and get back to business, carrying the message.
Just get back
There
to
we go.
carrying the message.
Get back to carrying the message.
And don't let
Because
no one tell
I
you
got to
different.
do this. If I ain't doing this, I ain't happy.
So you found your happiness in doing recovery.
In doing recovery, that's it. That's all I know. I don't know any other way. You know what I mean?
That's why you're doing 3 meetings a
And-
day. That's why your life is recovery.
I go for fellowship, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I like
You
know,
want to keep that third leg on that stool.
I
No,
speak
I-
on this
that's-
all the time when I share my story, whatever the case is. It's like, there's no reason I'm going to change my 5 to 7 meetings a week. They're like, but Tim, you've got 5, 7, 8, 10 year, whatever it is. I don't care.
I'm
This is what wor-
retired.
well,
My
this
kids
is what
are growing.
worked
What
for
am I
me.
gonna do with
Why
all
would I
my
change
time?
that shit?
Yeah.
I work on cars. You know, I can't do it 24/7. I got to be around people. I'm a people. Did you ever notice when you were drinking? You know,
was a long
alcohol. No,
Sunday.
alcoholics want people. They get telephonitis.
Telephonitis.
You get telephonitis when you're drunk. You
Did
call
see how I did
everybody.
That aged the shit out. He said,
That was the old dial.
half these kids don't even know what that is, man.
They don't even know what that is.
That's great.
That's funny.
Yeah, get telephonitis. You know.
All right, now here's the wackiest out of left field. If you could have a superpower, what would your superpower
I already
be?
told you. I already got it.
All right, what is it?
Hey.
Carrying the message.
Okay. All right. Okay. Are
That's
we?
the power. You got the power to make a difference in another human being's life. You become a demonstration of what God's grace can do to the still suffering alcoholic and drug addict who's dying out there that does not know there's a way out and a beautiful life awaits them. That's the reality
That's
and
that
the
passion.
truth.
That's that passion of recovery I love about Wes. All right, then. I'm trying to get to somewhere it's like out of left field. Are we alone in the universe?
No,
What do you mean?
I don't know. Maybe there's some green horns out there. I don't know. But I like to believe that I'm not alone. But I don't want people telling me there ain't no God.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
I believe in God. I believe in a creator.
Yeah.
You know, you want to know how I believe in a creator? Is because the things that people tell me to do in my faith, they feel good.
Feels good, Tony. Feels good.
Huh?
Wes,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing with
Yeah,
us,
all right.
man. Thank you, brother.
It's the same message,
Yes.
just a different voice.
There you go.
Story's the same, details are a little different.
Yeah.
Tell me about your gratitude today, Jeremy.
I'll get
My
it going.
gratitude's honestly,
Take care.
I'm gonna say this.
Come here.
This was amazing. This right here. You know, this is seriously probably the biggest gratitude of today was this. I mean, this is.
Oh, doing the
I
show?
needed this. No, hearing all you guys.
recovery, yeah.
This is great. This is stuff I need. I need this all the time.
Soak it up.
So I just.
We ain't really wrapping up. I just need to get Taki out.
And it's amazing. Like, you know, a group of guys, what it can do for you. You know.
Yeah.
We are sure that God wants us to be happy, joyous, and free. Page 133. Thank you for quoting the big book, Jake. But you guys heard what I said, like with Wes. Like, he'll drop knowledge out of the big book, but he knows when to drop it about what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
it's not. I do know those guys out there that'll quote some shit, but then be back in they don't do shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's out here living.
I can't quote like.
Nah,
nothing
I
like
don't.
it,
In 40, you know what though? In 40 years from now, you might be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, but
might
this
not.
dude's been doing AA.
Yeah.
No NA, none of that shit. Just a straight AA for 46 years, and he dumbed it down. He was a fucking circuit speaker that traveled the world.
Yeah.
The world, not just the metro, not the country.
Yeah.
They were
I know,
flying him
I've
out
heard
to
some
India and
stories, yeah.
Finland and like. I mean, he's passion. He's good at speaking. Not to gas up that, whatever. What's up, little mama? Pump, boom. What's that here? Come on, what's that? Oh, I got one for both of you guys. I'm the weird uncle guy. You want some candy? There you go. Starburst candy. All right. So, Jeremy, 7 months. Like, what do you tell someone who's in your shoes 8 months ago? What do you tell them?
That, you know, waking up with at least even 7 months under my belt of sobriety.
Hey, I'm gonna stop you real quick. Never dumb down the time you have. I don't care if it's 1 month or just. I don't think you were, but I'm gonna beat you to the punch. Don't.
I'm not, because it sucks because I had the 15 years and I felt like I threw it away. But
You
I
still got it.
You still got it.
I feel like this is better because I'm
Yeah,
actually
7 months of what you have now.
no, this is.
Yeah.
I mean, there is happiness out there, and it's just you got to really find it. You got to go. You got to go ahead and you got to do the work, though.
Right.
You gotta.
Right.
You got to do whatever it takes. You know, like some guys like tonight were saying the therapist and other stuff. Whatever it takes.
I had to, and this is anyone who can hear me now, and I didn't want to get into an argument with him because he is an old timer that believes the program can cure it all. You can get rid of depression meds. Bullshit. If there's some mental health, anyone listening,
I have mental health.
and if you do, it's a real thing. So seek out medical professional help and listen to their doctors. They got schooling on this. Maybe for someone reading some book might help them, but mental health is real. And like, if you're having any thoughts of that or any thoughts of self-harm, anything, like, please reach out. We understand like mental health is a real thing. I put a hotline up there. Like, just please reach out. You're worth this life, and shit's going to show up. And you know what? If you don't have the tools of 46 years under your belt and know how to handle life showing up, reach out.
I want to add to that.
Come on.
If you reach out and you don't feel like you connected, reach out again.
Yes.
There's plenty of resources. There's a huge gap in the system, but there is so many resources. There's a
trying to
lot of
get you in
places
here,
to
my
go.
man.
And this is kind of your field.
trying to
I
get
deal
you
with
in here.
mental health every day.
I know.
All day long.
I know. And that's why I say, like, there are this fine line of not just old timers, but people that do believe, like, all things could be cured.
I got work calling right now.
Go ahead. Oh,
No.
I was going to say, whatever. There's people that believe, like, just through the Bible, everything can be fixed. There's some people that believe through the basic text, everything can be fixed. Mental health is a real thing.
Don't
And-
ever feel.
Come on.
Don't
I'm
ever
gonna take
feel
that
like
one.
if you need to take meds,
No, I said,
it's gonna make
I'm gonna
you
close
weaker.
you out. No, exactly. We're gonna get back to that. Tell me about your gratitude.
my gratitude.
You were
like
starting
I
on it,
said,
but yeah, come on.
It's you guys saying. Tell you the truth. It's you guys saying. You know, lately I have been it's been a poor me thing. You know, I got a lot. Oh Jesus, I got a lot of stuff going on in my life. But I got a lot of great stuff going on in my life.
Bro,
But
it's normal to be feeling like you're putting in a lot of work. It's gonna in your regular job and you're changing. It's gonna feel like that. Like not just so much poor me, but it's a lot on you, bro.
Well, and like, the thing is like I'm at this new job, right? I just started work, and I am Dustin's, whatever.
yeah.
But like, I feel like honestly, like I used to be the best in the industry at what I do, right? And I've been sitting there like staring off in the goddamn sun, like just like, you know, and like these guys are probably looking at me, these that are working for me, like, what is this dude doing? He's our boss, like. But I've been thinking about so much shit in my head that I can't even like focus on the task at hand at times.
Right.
And it's like, even coming here, it makes me realize to slow it down.
Take a breath.
Take a breath. And the day-to-day thing, like, people are like, oh, day-to-day, blah, blah. Seriously, though, you need to seriously not sometimes worry. So I get it. You have to. You can't
You have
just
to
be
play
like,
and be responsible.
you
You have to be responsible. That's
you
the
do. Yeah, you gotta do day-to-day thing.
Yeah,
I need that. Like, I need to seriously tell myself more than ever.
I got old
day-to-day.
timers still today after 6+ years be like, Tim, breathe.
Yeah.
Just breathe. And it still gets under my skin when certain guys say it, but it's the truth.
It kills me.
You guys,
So yeah, come on in, dude.
Really?
there you go.
Everybody
Hey,
want to come on in?
hey,
What,
just
yeah.
all right.
No,
That's
I'm being
enough.
serious.
Yes.
Seriously.
All right, enough. All right.
I was gonna ask him that anyway.
Sure you were. All right.
Oh,
Out of left field. Way out of left field. What's your superpower? Any superpower, if you could have one, what would it be?
Could it be to?
Did you form this in a question just now?
It's
It's your superpower, bro.
All right, no, I'm just saying fly. I'm a simple.
Bro, you're 4 other. Now we got 5 of us. That's mine.
I'm gonna say.
You ain't there yet.
Hey.
No, I
No,
know.
he said want to fly. I'm gonna say the eagle eye. All right.
Bro, you're not. It's not even at you. You don't get to. No,
Come on.
We're taking that back. He don't get his superpower tonight. I'm joking. Last thing, bro. Are we alone in the universe?
No,
What do you mean?
there's my higher power somewhere.
Oh, so that for you means we're not alone. We're having the God out there.
Someone's out there. Someone's out there helping all of us. And honestly, I feel that that's 100%. Like I have felt it, and then you still like will doubt it, which is wild. Because I'll even yell at God sometimes, be like,
Bro, that's one of the
you know,
questions.
like why would you
Hey,
do this?
that's
to
good.
me?
No,
why
that-
would
yes.
you do this to me?
Process that.
How do you here? That was one of the questions that came in. Is how do you? Bear with me. It's right here. How do you believe in something that you can't see? And that I think was formed towards recovery. Like I don't see what recovery is. Like how do I believe in it?
Because I felt it.
But a lot of people look at that. Or here it is. How can I trust in something I can't see? Most people go to the higher power question when I ask that. They think I'm talking about God. But
I felt it.
there you go. Feelings.
Yeah,
Feelings. Jeremy, I love you, bro. Would you come back?
100%.
All right, I'm holding you to it.
I've been here twice this week. That's more than I've ever been in my life.
Here you go.
right?
No FPA.
FBI.
Yeah.
Here you go. Before I
my
give
number.
before I
Everybody-
give you this,
Everybody get my number.
in 1943, engineer his number's right here. Richard James invented the toy Slinky by accident when he was creating springs to support ship equipment. All right, just side note. And that's before I thought it was this I was giving away. Okay, here's the other one. Caterpillars turn into soup before becoming butterflies.
What?
What?
Oh,
Cool.
because they go in the cocoon, I think.
They get all slimy and turn in. All right.
Yeah.
It is 952, 769. And those are 3773. All right. Here's a joke. Why did the pitcher go to jail? Because it was framed. All right, Jer. I love you, bro. Thanks for
Hey,
coming
man.
on.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Oh, Chris.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you, man. I'm looking forward to seeing the future here.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
You already texted me. You got it.
Yeah, I got you. I'll confirm it with
Hey,
them.
you know what? I'll probably need this for you guys to get a hold.
Yeah, that would help. That would help.
Have a good Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, bro. Hey, thank you. Yes. All right, here we go. Another question. Oh, listen, anyone who's just tuned in, damn, I got a lot. If you sent me questions, I'm sorry that I haven't gotten to them, and if I don't get to them, I apologize. But they are going into my little question page, so
Let's hear it.
we're all good. Hey Tim, maybe you could tell them that there's a message that came with the soap that I'm excited for him to read. Oh, Chucky the Soap Man. The soap dealer. We have a soap dealer in the house and a soap factory. Chucky the Soap Man makes soap back there on that. Let me point over into that room. And he makes this soap here, the Armor of Yah. It's some of the best soap. Mike, he can speak on it, but we're not going to right now. But he's an avid user of it. I did start using it. Have you tried it yet?
I bought some. I haven't tried it.
Dang it. Try it, bro.
I will.
I ended up because I'm an Irish Spring guy because it leaves nothing behind, like no slimy like Dove does or nothing. So I like that, especially for my ears. You wash your ears and then it cleans them. All right, whatever. It doesn't, but it smells good after, better than Irish Spring. Whatever the case. So Chris,
Yes,
now we
what's
can
the
get to that
question?
question.
Let's get
We can
it.
get to that question, and now you can answer it without some northern dude just stealing the thunder. I mean, I've heard him speak so much though. It's like but I enjoy it. I'm grateful for people like Wes. Our phones. Oh, here we go. Yes. No, I don't have no one on mute.
Yeah.
All right, this question goes to Chris. Now remember, boys and girls, Chris works in the field of recovery. So this is a important one to be asking, and it's just an opinion. Remember, like
Yeah.
is
I ain't a
being-
professional.
No. Is being on methadone or Suboxone, Suboxone considered sober or clean in your eyes?
In my eyes. So, for touching on,
Thank you.
My
Before you even go
personal-
further, it is not a yes or no answer.
yeah.
It can't be.
But for my personal experience, myself, I would consider it for if I was using that myself. I don't think it would be, but it is,
For yourself. You're right.
yes, for myself.
So can I steal some of this before you go further? It's a situational answer. If you're abusing it, of course it's use.
Yeah.
If you're taking it for any mood altering reasons, of course it is. If someone's taking it for withdrawal reasons,
I've seen it save lives.
thank you.
All right.
Okay.
And I do push it sometimes. Like, hey, you guys, there's people that I haven't even heard of it,
Right.
that are still coming into recovery.
Trying to
you
figure
guys.
out how to stay clean.
Yeah. I mean, I don't push it, but yeah, if someone's actively using, and I know a really good methadone clinic. We prescribe Suboxone. Yeah. So I am not against it at all. So I never did downers.
nuts.
So
See,
you know.
and that is more so for opiates, right?
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, that's stupid. I can't believe you took a bite of that. I pretended to. I didn't. I barely touched my lips.
But,
My whole mouth's on fire.
Tim, I want to say, if I was an opiate user, and if someone told me, hey man, it'll help you get clean,
I would definitely use it if I was in that
Exactly.
situation.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with it. Me personally, this multiple times and any no, it's super spicy. It's super duper duper spicy. It's got ghost peppers
let
in
me
it.
try it.
So I know from personal experience, personal facts on mine, and I'm only speaking from my side of the street because the second I start telling you anything about your recovery, I've got an issue personally. I need to go buy a mirror and look at my own shit. Unless someone's asking me, "Hey Tim, what should I do about this?" It's not my business. That's why this is just
Yeah, because
this is in the spirit of a podcast and talking about the topic. It's not our place to tell someone.
No.
And that's with the next question.
And I want to clarify.
go ahead.
I want to clarify that. I mean, in my job, that's what I'm doing. I work in the recovery field.
I knew that. That's
So,
why. Yeah.
Yeah. I just give them options. that's how I walk next to them
Mm-hmm.
in their recovery and give them the options. You know,
And that's
That's all
why
we
I
can
think
do.
it's important. And that your job is to give resources, and that's part of giving a resource.
Yeah, but then there's people like my uncle. He's been on the methadone program since 1978,
that's a crap
76.
she's using. You know,
And he, as soon as he get done in the morning, he goes home and use.
But that's no. Listen, let me tell you. Let me tell you
Yeah.
both a story, a personal story about me.
yeah.
For 5 years prior to getting clean, I didn't think about getting clean until the day I walked into inpatient, until I checked myself into detox. That was the first and only time I thought maybe I should stop. Because prior to that, it was never a thought. When people would be like, I gotta quit, I'd be like, what the fuck? What do you, why are you even,
Yeah.
why wasting breath on that? Like,
We've
why
all
you
been
wrecking
there.
your high?
We've all been
And
there.
that's how I was. Well, I was at the methadone clinic at university for 5 years on and off. I just could never get take homes because I had never cleaned. But here's the thing: I knew methadone, I could still go get high. It was a great substitute not to go through withdrawals if I couldn't get dope. Now, I got into inpatient and was like, they're like, well, we see you're on methadone. I'm like, no, I need Suboxone. If anything,
There you go.
because to me, that was an insurance policy. I know I can't get high if I take Suboxone.
Yeah.
Now, some people aren't familiar with it. Like we got a kid this kid who's come in multiple times, nodding out, falling over and shit because he's taking 9 strips. He's taking 100 milligrams of Suboxone. Sure, if you're overdoing it and you're nodding out, there's some. I was 4 milligrams for a while in my early recovery. I was on Suboxone, but it was a dose that kept me from going through withdrawals, and my life improved.
Great.
But
That's amazing.
I use it as prescribed.
Yeah.
First time in my entire life I did something prescribed, doing it as prescribed. And this is my story. I'm not here to tell, because I listen to really close friends of mine in my own goals group, in my day-to-day, that half of them don't even know I was on Suboxone when I was. And I listen to them talk about, they have opinions on some shit they're not familiar with. I don't correct them. It ain't for me to correct them. But they're like, no, you ain't going to have no better life doing that. Bro, my life turned around.
Yeah, you wouldn't be where you are.
Hell
Right.
no.
Hey, I've
If it wasn't
literally
for-
saved
Suboxone.
I've saved a client's life like 3 times. Literally blue.
Oh,
And now I mean
Yeah.
doing CPR, I did CPR on him for 20 minutes straight before the ambulance got there.
Yeah.
And he's doing good right now.
Probably, what,
He
Suboxone?
No, off the methadone.
There you go.
And now he's tapering down. He's almost off.
And there's that difference. I mean, there is
So
that.
I see it. I mean, I see success in it.
So here comes a right field question. Dr. Burt, I've got this chronic pain. Well, let's put you on the marijuana maintenance program. What's your thoughts on that, Chris?
Jeez.
Paul said here, I'm going to side note. Paul was like,
I mean, we do prescribe the card too.
hey,
Not for pain.
see, hot topics. Hot topics. This is what Paul wanted. Paul was like, Tim, maybe we could start bringing up controversial topics
There we go.
where we get people like the Jerry Springer show where they want to check back in. And I said just like this, the only topics I can think of, it's either politics, abortion, or are you still clean if you're on Suboxone or methadone? He's like, no, not those. I can't think of any other topics
Yeah.
that will get people
But hey,
active.
I really truly think if you're coming in to sobriety, and if you feel like that's keeping by getting something that's prescribed to you, you're still sober, man. If you're using
yeah,
that.
if you're not abusing it. Same with marijuana. And this is, like I say, this is for the essence of a show that we're about recovery. Otherwise, you won't hear me talking to, hey, Mike, man, look at them dudes over there on some box and think they're clean. That's not my place to say
listen
that
to
shit.
this. You know, soon, Teen Challenge is going to have to allow you to smoke marijuana if you got
If you have a card?
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean,
Just think how that's going to change.
but that's, it's,
their
yeah.
program.
Everybody can get it though, just by going to a therapist. And
Not
some
everyone.
people-
Not everyone,
we
but
t- we-
for the most part, yes.
There's crooked
like
doctors out there.
I can go get one, even though like I could like literally get one because of PTSD and other issues.
Yes, but
you know, but
if you but
I know that's my DOC.
yeah,
One of
there
them,
you go.
you
But I'm
know?
saying, if you're going to the right doctors, the doctors will not prescribe it to you if they don't think you need it.
If you're going to the right doctor, sure.
Yeah,
But
my
there's-
therapist just asked me. She was like, "Do you want medicinal marijuana?" I was like, "No, I don't want.
Yeah.
I actually want my girls to see 100% me."
See, now there you go. That's that part of growth I always talk about. Only you're gonna know that. It's
Hey,
not
I
for
want to.
Chris.
I want to
tell-
speak on something else too. For this mental health, I mean,
on.
coming soon. I don't want to talk about it yet, but coming soon, I'll have some very good resources to where we could see when we could see outside clients, and we got great doctors, you guys.
And who are you with?
Evergreen Recovery.
Evergreen recovery. Like, hey, we talk about what works on this show. Like, I don't condone, I don't support. I am a conduit to have people share about what's worked for them or what they support. That goes for someone talking about certain fellowships. It's not for me to shut them down about them breaking tradition. I won't do it. Just to stir the pot, thank you, Jake. What's your thoughts on dating newcomers?
Dangerous.
I want someone else in the room to hear your thoughts on this. I just want someone else in the room who's with us now
Yeah.
to hear your thoughts on what about dating? Like, let's say
No.
she seems. Oh no, just no.
Dating a newcomer?
Yeah,
No.
What you looking at me for?
just making sure you hear the message.
What you looking at me for?
Hot spot.
Look at this.
Hot seat. Nah.
You look down
No,
innocent.
don't do it, man.
Don't do it. All right, thank you,
Same
Jake.
with coworkers. Don't do that
Coworkers.
either.
Yeah.
Fraternizing. No fraternizing.
Oh, okay, we're gonna go through a couple things that get us shut her down, boys and girls. You know what? I get you on and we hardly even talk.
Yeah, you're.
The North Pole is warmer than the South Pole. Just so you guys know. What kind of coat won't keep you warm? A coat of paint. We used to have a dad joke segment. You know what? The sticks were fire, Dan. Thank you. And thank you for being on the show. Thank you, Jeremy, for being on the show. Thank you, Wes, for being on the
Say,
show.
Dad, them things ain't that hot, man.
Why is you still sitting there?
Because I want to chew.
You guys were out here.
Yeah, you're not leaving yet. You still got to answer a question you tried shooting too far ahead on. A caterpillar has more muscles than a human. What does an invisible cat drink? What does an invisible cat drink? Evaporated milk. Is that what you just said?
She said invisible milk.
Might as well be the same. All right, got one more cool fact and then a joke. Applesauce was the first food eaten in space by the astronauts. Applesauce. Okay, here's the joke. What do snakes do after they have an argument? They hiss and make up. Get it? Like hiss and make up. Okay. Thank you, everybody who's checked in. I got some questions for you guys. You know what, Mike? Talk to me about your gratitude, because I know you've been dealing with some life this last week or so.
Oh, man.
And I don't want you to come on and talk about it yet, because I want another week to go by before we. Matter of fact, it's gonna be 2 weeks before we talk about you again.
All right.
So talk to me about your gratitude. Can you find any gratitude in what's going on in life?
Yeah, man, I can find gratitude in any moment. Being a dad has shown me how to be grateful. Like these two little girls that's just around right there.
They're your biggest cheerleaders. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's my gratitude right there.
Are we alone in the universe?
Oh no,
What do you mean?
I've seen some things.
Yeah, but
That make
take
me
away
believe.
drugs and all that.
There was nothing involved. Like, so that before that, I was like, oh man, we're the only people around. But
on.
after that, it was like, oh my
Come
god,
on, share the experience. We got some time.
man.
Let's
All
see.
right,
You saw
so
some triangle in the sky or what?
dude, so me and my homeboy, we're outside smoking a joint.
Enough said.
Let's know what marijuana has made you hallucinate.
The kind that got dropped into some weird.
Never. This was
chemical.
like 2008.
So you were cleaning
That don't
seeds out of
matter.
it. It was
No
some headache,
No.
some stress.
No.
He went to the stress factory. You know, there's people that smoke bud that never even knew that we just had to clean some seeds and stems
That's
and sticks.
funny.
Oh yeah, there's some people out here that just don't know. But
I
me
remember
and my
old
boy-
timers that used to be like, "Hey, I don't want none of that good. I need some of that shit with some
Yeah,
seeds and stems."
yeah.
You
I
know
had
them
some
all.
of those
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
yeah.
because we were old dumbasses. Okay, so you and your guy are doing some good drugs that aren't
Yeah.
laced. Okay, sure.
Nothing lace. We're outside having a conversation. As we're having a conversation, I lived out in Anoka, so there's like no city lights, no nothing. All you see is stars.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm just gazing as we're talking, and I notice a star moving slow. If you was not staring at it, you wouldn't notice it moving.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, hold on. Star right here. If it touches the other star, I'm not tripping. Soon as it touched the other star, it turns red, zoom, zoom, and it zoomed off.
All right, so
I threw the joint.
there was still what are them things? Drones. 2008. There was drones.
What
No,
about-
this was
hey.
this was way out. Drones, that was way more than two.
What
5,
year
10
was
miles.
this?
This was like 2008.
Oh yeah, that's a satellite, man.
There you go. Satellite.
Zooming like that?
Yes.
No.
Man, they're zooming out there.
I wouldn't be able to see it.
Let me just tell you this much, real quick. Side note for anyone, like if you see something, I'm gonna put a little knot in your head. All right, do you understand what we have to play with, like just drones and shit, the cool shit we have?
Yeah.
Can you imagine what we don't have, that we don't have access to, that our military does, that our government does, that the scientists, that DARPA, that NASA, bro?
For it to be that far, move that fast in 2008, that was not.
They've had Pelican and Pigeon drones since like the early 90s. Don't get me into this, but I'm not doubting what you saw. I'm not. That's your take on it. And I appreciate Chris.
What's up?
Talk about your gratitude, please.
My
The name of the
gratitude.
show is Attitude for Gratitude, and I want to hear all about your gratitude, please.
You guys,
Okay.
right now, I'm not like I'm burnt out for the week, but I got so much gratitude. Like, I mean, that's what keeps me going every day. You know,
Explain it though, like break down for people what you mean, because I know that, like the sense of. What do you mean it keeps you going? Because I know you put in a long ass week, probably 50, 60 hours at minimum.
yeah,
Like
it's
your
a
whole
little more than
day,
that.
yeah, your whole day and night is recovery based. You get calls, you have to get up and go, you have to bring so and so here,
yeah.
do that, da, 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 da,
all the things. Yeah.
and you're dead, tired, and then you're talking about, well, this gratitude keeps me going.
Because I mean, without my recovery and help and going and helping others, and trying to plant the seed, do what I can, walk with them in their recovery. Like
You don't walk them through recovery, you walk with them.
with
through it.
them.
Yes, I
That's
know.
what I said with.
I know. I was trying to highlight.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you gotta walk next. If you can't come down to someone else's level and walk with them, I mean, in my perspective, you gotta. You can't talk. I mean, you can talk about it, but just, I mean, because man, people get what do you call it? Not embarrassed, but
Some people get set. Let's just use an example. Like I'm in there, and some dudes over here, I'm not feeling like they're helping me. I feel like they're acting like they're better than me.
yeah,
And
better,
they're-
or they're yeah.
Ego. I know. I'm trying to think of what I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get standoffish. I'm gonna be on some putting up a roadblock. Like this dude can't relate.
Yeah.
He's over here thinking he's better than me. Ba 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 ba. And I already know how.
Some people take it as being feeling inferior and they don't know
Yeah.
what's the next, or if you're really trying to help them or
Yeah,
just
they
doing
feel-
And
their
I know
job.
you're not
Yeah.
tooting your own horn on this. You're just
They feel
explaining your
insulted.
process
Yeah.
of
And
you
belittled.
walking hand in
Yeah.
hand with someone.
Yeah.
I know.
And I know being in like a job like that is humbling at the same time, but you're helping yourself help them because
I mean,
it's
yeah.
Well, you're in recovery too. Like you are one of your patients.
Exactly.
You know.
Yes, and what else keeps my gratitude going is reflecting. I reflect a lot, and without being able to reflect, you can't picture yourself or see yourself in where you want to be in the future. And I do a lot of that nowadays. So
Reflect.
yep,
Well,
reflect.
and I know your life has changed dramatically just in the, let's just say in your financial, not financial, in your possession life. Like I know you enjoy riding motorcycles and you were in a position now that you're able to get yourself a really nice motorcycle, something that's a very nice bike.
Yeah.
I know that like transportation, you got yourself a nice vehicle. very nice. And it's because you put in work. But your job, you also work for a company I know that appreciates you and takes care of you, correct?
Correct.
And we're thinking, so I'm gonna put him on the spot here. What are you doing Thursday next week? You're gonna call, you're gonna talk to the boss tomorrow and be like, hey, I'm thinking I might be gone Thursday and Friday and Monday.
Ooh.
What's happening Thursday, Friday, Monday?
Motorcycle trip.
Motorcycle trip. Now you're putting me on the spot.
I know, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you go, I'll go. I'll make the pact right now.
For real?
If you go, I'll go. If Todd can put my bike in his trailer with him. I think he has a 2-person trailer.
Oh, Todd's gonna.
Todd's trailering his bike down.
Yeah,
so
he's
if,
not in the condition.
no, physically he's
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
so
yeah.
and he doesn't want to ride alone. So, and my bike's got an issue in 5th and 6th gear, but I can get it going 70 or 80 in 4th and 5th, kind of in 5th.
Yeah.
But enough where I can ride with you boys down there. And I know this is the case. If you go, I'll go.
I need to get me a bike.
Yep. Tell me you can't commit right now. Tell me you can't commit right now. Because I just said I would go if you go.
Let me hang on. I can look at my.
Go ahead. we are live, but I haven't.
I can't go. I mean, I got two. I got.
He got clients
I'm-
that he's obligated to.
Well, yeah. I'm obligated to them, but I could also take personal time.
Yeah.
but
What
I
trip are you
just-
going on this year? Are you good?
Well, it just got canceled.
What?
It just got canceled. The trip that I'm supposed to be going on to the Redwood Forest.
We're not doing the California trip.
No,
Redwoods is dope.
Last time I know.
no, it just got canceled tonight. So
By
now,
who?
now
Paul
I got,
said it's off.
yeah.
What was the reason?
Because we're moving.
Oh, because of the move.
Yeah, they just.
Will
signed-
Work for Recovery is moving down the street to a
And
new
it's-
location.
It's wonderful building, you guys.
You seen it, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's.
I only
it's
saw
nice.
videos. I wasn't able to go down there both times I should have.
Yeah.
You know what? Like
I
this, the only reason I brought this up, Chris, was
Yeah.
to also bring up like 7 years ago, was it an option to hop on a brand new Harley and leave while using vacation?
No.
It wasn't for me.
Not a brand new one. And
Having a job waiting for you when you get back and
No.
paid when you're gone. Like, to me, the promises weren't about me being able to have all sorts of items, but it was about me being able to have stuff I want.
yeah.
Like that, I wasn't able to have things that I truly wanted. I own a camper, bro, that I paid for.
But listen, I have this nice stuff. But that part, I mean,
does that keep
and-
you clean?
no, that don't
Thank you.
keep me clean. That doesn't.
Thank
that
you.
stuff doesn't matter. I mean, it's nice to have nice things, yes. But my inner peace and my sobriety, that matters way more.
Shit, we should have been talking about this way earlier because I think this is super important in early recovery. But that's the other side of it. Nobody could have told me, Tim, getting a new Harley, it's not gonna matter. My head was like, bullshit. Put me on my new bike. Give me my new truck. But until that,
I know a lot of people like that.
But
I
then
mean,
over time,
I was like
that
that,
changed. Yeah,
so-
I was too.
I mean-
but over time, it happened when a guy, one of the older guys with, at that time, probably 10 times the amount of clean time I had. He probably had 30 years. I maybe had 2 years.
Yeah.
He asked me a question. We're in a group of guys. He asked me a question and waited for me to answer because he wanted to hear what I had to say. I don't know why, but that meant something to me.
That's good.
And to me, it was like, that's one of the promise. To me, that's a promise. I got clean, and my word meant something again. Someone wanted to hear what I had to say. That's a promise. Okay, so that's your. Did you just tell me your gratitude?
My gratitude,
Yeah.
what I'm grateful for.
Yeah. What are you grateful for?
I mean, I'm grateful for every breath I take, to the green grass, to. Dude, I'm grateful for a lot of things.
Okay. I think
Everything.
you tried to say it earlier, but what's your superpower?
My superpower? What would my superpower
Any
be?
superpower, anyone. Just one though. What is it?
Damn. There's a lot of them.
No, just one.
All right.
You only get one, Chris.
Jeremy said his would be to fly.
It'll fly, yes.
Mine is the eagle eye.
Eagle eye. What do you mean? That you can
So
see
you can see
100
out.
miles away? How
No,
far?
See anything.
See anything through walls? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Thousands.
gatekeeper
Yeah,
dude?
yeah.
You can see in other dimensions,
Yes.
bro. Really though, that's like that's someone saying hearing someone's thoughts. Like, no. Could it be subject? Could it be whatever you wanted to see, or is it just you
Yeah.
look all of a sudden I see every single thing, everything?
No, it's what you want to
Oh,
see.
okay. All right.
And
Yeah.
but what you want to see, that's seeing everything. So
Be like, Tim's a pervert.
no.
Are we alone in the universe?
Are we alone in the universe? Man, so I'm a spiritual guy. I'd say no because I believe we're all connected.
You took it spiritual, and so did he. I think when I ask, "Are we alone in the universe?" I think aliens. Right away, I'm like, "Do you
No.
believe-" So
Hey,
hear
wait,
that
hey,
question
if
here.
there's aliens out there, there's only one creator. We're all connected.
Everyone has their thoughts.
So
I
there,
just think
you know,
our space
if-
is so vast.
I don't know, you know, that's the way I see it.
And there's no wrong answer to this shit. All right, Mike, anything you want to add to the show before Mike, anything you want to add to the Bro, you got to kick. Well, you know, you had Shorty's talking. You had the just anything you'd like to add that I didn't bring up? Anything you want to tell the audience? Anyone listening who will listen tomorrow?
Just always go to the drawing board when things don't work out. Just don't go use.
That's powerful.
There we
Hey,
go. Play the
anything
tape
you want to
forward.
add to the show?
Yeah, I'll add mental health, guys. We touched on that. It's huge, man. I mean, there's such a gap in the system in mental health. Down to people want, you know, if you have mental health, don't be scared to seek help. You're not weak. You know what I mean? Even though there's a stigma on mental health in society, it's getting better. You guys, just do it. You know, because it's not going to get any better.
I'm going to touch on it too, real quick.
Your mental health is not going to get better. If
It's
you
not going to
don't-
get better on its own if you don't address it or do something about it.
Yeah, and I truly believe there's ways without meds. But if it doesn't work for you, it don't. You need them. Hey, man, you're not weak.
Yeah,
for
never
needing
hang your head low because of it. All right, thank you, Chris. I love you, bro.
it. Love you too.
Like he said, like Mike said, anyone listening tonight, thank you for your time. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for everyone who checked in. Sorry if I didn't get to your questions tonight. We will get to them.
Next time I'm on, we'll answer more questions or get to more questions.
Well, we also had a
Yeah,
hurdle. All right, now
I'm not on much, but
No,
we'll get there.
all right, you heard it. You're coming back. So thank you, everybody who supports this show. If you have ideas for the show, you can message me directly. My number's down there, or you can put questions up. If you want to be on the show, just come show up any Friday night, and the chair's open for you. There's no money being made off this show. There's no sponsorship, no paid nothing. I had a couple people decline to come on because they made mention of, I'm not going to make you money off my story. So let me just make it clear that, like, this is not a money situation. I pay for a subscription. That's the only money that's involved. Is I pay a monthly fee to have a platform for the StreamYard. I pay for that. So that's the only money involved. And I guess I've never spoke about that, so I couldn't get upset with the guys who said what they said. I understand. They think Joe Rogan, they think money being made. That's not how this works. My payment is knowing, like, someone gets to hear that there's another way of life out there and that we can share about it. And I'm sorry for echoing. But Chris said it, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. It's like mental health is a real thing. I put up the suicide hotline earlier because some talk got brought up about some self-harm, whatever the case is. Like, please reach out if you're struggling, and please seek some professional help if it's needed. Come to a meeting. Come on down to 2520 North 2nd Street. Multiple places have been talked about. Where you work, what's the name of it again? I'm sorry. Evergreen Recovery. We talked about 2218 First Avenue South. We talked about New Hope Alano tonight. Fridley Alano got brought up. We talked about Serenity Village. We talked about Eagle Brook. What else? Teen Challenge got brought up. We don't utilize our spots and make it a secret. We share about our recovery. It's not. We want everyone to come find what we found. So it's here for the taking. Please come take it. 2520 North 2nd Street. That's where we're at. That's we'll work for recovery Monday through Monday. Like, every day of the week, there's some meeting, way, shape, or form going on here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and Saturday morning, there's a 6:30 a.m. AA meeting here. Very AA structured meeting. Solutions on 2nd Street. Then every day at 1 p.m. there's a meeting. Every day at 7 p.m. there's a meeting. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m., there's a men's meeting and a women's meeting. Every Sunday, we do a barbecue. We have morning Bible meetings in the studio here. There's multiple meetings going on here. And like I said, there's a foosball table, a ping pong table. We got prayer rooms. We got a big meeting room, another facility meeting room. We've got
Workout
a
room.
gym.
Yeah.
We got croaky stuff. We got big screen TVs. This place is filled with recovery, and it's yours for the taking. So if you're out there struggling tonight, no one's told you that today, like you're loved, you're worthy, you're worth this life for recovery. Till next time. Next week,
Reach out.
reach out. Jake will be here with you guys next week. Until then, adios, and I love you. Thank you.